Chapter 191. When Dai woke up the next day, he realized that he was lying on his bed. Was everything last night a dream? He slowly got up. His limbs were in excruciating pain. It wasn't a dream. He subconsciously glanced at Tianruo Xiaoyao. Tianruo Xiaoyao had woken up earlier than him. She also realized that Dai Luoli was looking at her. She smiled at him and said, "Let's go. Let's go eat." Dai Luoli looked at her with a complicated expression. "Who are you? Why are you so strong? Furthermore, you know who Su Yun and I are. Your identity is definitely not simple. Who exactly are you?" Tianruo Xiaoyao laughed and said, "Let's talk when you can last 500 rounds against me. Now, hurry up and obey my orders. Let's go eat." Yes," Dai Luoli said subconsciously. He even carefully sensed his martial soul. It's different now. Furthermore, I'm rank 40 now. There's actually a colorless and transparent soul ring in my head. The words God-bestowed soul ring suddenly popped up in his mind. Quickly absorb that God-bestowed soul ring. The longer you absorb it, the stronger it will be. Tianruo Xiaoyao's voice was transmitted into his mind. Dai Luoli was stunned. He only reacted after a long while. He looked at Tianruo Xiaoyao again. He had already gone to eat. "Who exactly are you?" Following this, the Sun Moon Empire launched a surprise attack. Xingluo's front lines were crushed, and the Ming Do Mountain Range was occupied. "Battalion Commander, how's the situation?" Dai Luoli asked anxiously. This concerned his father's safety. He couldn't help but be anxious. Su Yunxiao's face was filled with worry. "The situation is very bad. The casualties at the front lines are still unclear. It's only said that the White Tiger Duke led his bodyguards to bring up the rear so that they could escape from the Sun Moon Empire's firepower. The front lines have suffered heavy losses. The Western Field Army has also been dealt a devastating blow. The Sun Moon Empire has also used Class 9 stationary soul cannon shells. Conservatively speaking, the Sun Moon Empire has used at least 6 Class 9 stationary soul cannon shells this time." Dai Luoli's face was pale. However, his gaze suddenly became determined. "I'm going to find my father. Su Yun, I'm leaving." As he spoke, he turned around and was about to leave. However, Tianruo Xiaoyao suddenly slapped him, causing him to fall to the ground. "What do you do if you go? You'll only be cannon fodder if you go. You better stay here and cultivate for me. Even then, you're not allowed to go. Hurry up and absorb that thing for me too." He was lecturing Dai Luoli coldly, but Dai Luoli and Su Yun could tell that he was concerned for Dai Luoli. Furthermore, his reprimand felt like an elder brother was reprimanding his younger brother. "You guys stay here. I'll go," Tianruo Xiaoyao said. "Wait, who are you? Did father send you here?" Dai Luoli suddenly asked. Tianruo Xiaoyao sneered. "Is he worthy? I don't like him at all. On the contrary, I hate him. But father is our country's hero." Dai Luoli wanted to say something, but Tianruo Xiaoyao interrupted him coldly. "Hero? What a joke. Is he worthy of being called a hero? He didn't even show any concern for her." His last sentence was very soft. After Tianruo Xiaoyao finished speaking, he looked at Dai Luoli again. "Call me elder brother." "Elder brother," Dai Luoli subconsciously called out. Tianruo Xiaoyao smiled. "Very good." Following this, the space behind him suddenly distorted. He fused into that distorted space and disappeared without a trace. How powerful! The two of them were shocked. They skipped a lot of nonsense. Anyway, they had successfully saved Dai Luoli. The black door slowly opened. The White Tiger bodyguards and Dai Hao came out one by one. The last person to come out was a man in a black robe. "It's safe here. I'll also remind you to quickly inform Emperor Xingluo and the Heavenly Soul Empire. Tell them that the Sun Moon Empire is about to go to war. The Heavenly Soul Empire is likely to be targeted first. That's all I have to say. I'm leaving." Dai Hao was very grateful as he said, "Thank you for saving my life twice, benefactor." Back in the Yinyang Love Querying Valley, Yuhao had an avatar. Take note that it was an avatar, not a martial soul avatar, that stayed outside and saved the lives of Dai Hao and the rest. "May I know your name, Elder?" "You'll know in the future." The man in a black robe waved his hand as he replied. Following this, The man in a black robe slowly disappeared in front of everyone. Dai Hao and his bodyguards bowed respectfully in the direction where he disappeared. After this, they got up and returned to camp. In the distance, the man in a black robe slowly took off his black robe. He was a very cold man. However, his appearance started to change. He turned into a 16-year-old youth with long blue hair. He was very handsome and looked very demonic. What should I do? How should I deal with my relationship with him? He muttered as he stroked his chin. Forget it. I'll go back first. You. Dai Luoli was stunned as he stared at the young man with long blue hair in front of him. The young man looked like he was only 16 years old. There's nothing to be surprised about. This is my true appearance, the youth said. He was Tianrua Xiaoyao. No, he should be called Yuhao now. You? Dai Luoli was stunned. Yuhao didn't continue speaking. Instead, he retrieved a small bowl of clear water from his starlight sapphire ring and mixed some liquid. Water and inky silver liquid. Wasn't this something that was only used for the blood test? What are you trying to do? Dai Luoli was stunned as he looked at Yuhao. Yuhao smiled and lifted his head. He looked at Dai Luoli and said, "Didn't you say it already?" As he spoke, he retrieved a long needle and pricked his finger. He dripped a drop of blood into the bowl. Take note, it was red blood. In a sense, Yuhao was no longer human. This was because his blood had changed. Even though there was still a little bit of human blood left, there wasn't much left. It was very likely that this was his last drop of human blood. He passed the needle to Dai Luoli and said, "Hurry up." Dai Luoli took in a few deep breaths and forced himself to calm down. He gritted his teeth and took a few steps forward. He came in front of the bowl and pricked his finger with the needle. He dripped a drop of blood into the bowl. The 2 drops of blood floated in the inky silver liquid. They were independent of each other. The 2 drops of blood slowly approached each other. Dai Luoli stared intently at the bowl. He was very clear that if these 2 drops of blood fused into one, it would prove that he and Yuhao were related. Otherwise, the 2 drops of blood would separate from each other, and they would remain in this distinct state. They would never fuse. The 2 drops of blood were getting closer and closer. Dai Luoli subconsciously clenched his fists. He was smart and naturally knew that Yuhao wouldn't do this for no reason. However, this was simply too unbelievable. The 2 drops of blood finally separated from each other. They first touched each other tentatively, and then they bounced off each other like 2 softballs. Just as Dai Luoli heaved a sigh of relief and thought that this was a meaningless game, there was a slight trace of blood between the 2 drops of blood. He suddenly realized that there was a thread of blood connecting the 2 small balls. Before he could react, the 2 blood beads had fused together at an astonishing speed, turning into an even larger blood bead. Ah! Dai Luoli was shocked. He snatched the bowl from Yuhao's hand and brought the inky silver liquid in front of him. He was a little stunned when he saw that there was only 1 drop of blood left in the bowl. You saw it too. We are related by blood. I'm also that person's child. You and I are half-brothers. I was born a year earlier than you, and I'm your elder brother. It's a pity that I'm the same as you. I'm also a bastard. My mother's status is far inferior to yours. She was once that person's servant. When I was young, I also lived in the White Tiger Duke's mansion. Your mother took good care of my mother. If not for her care, I might not have survived. My mother was always very grateful. She couldn't forget your mother's kindness even after she passed away. After my mother died, she was forced by the Duchess to live with the servants. Her life was even worse than that of the servants. She raised me painstakingly. After that, she fell seriously ill. After she was kicked down by Dai Huabin, she never got up again. That year, I was 8 years old. It was also then that I decided to leave this place that had given me a dark childhood. My martial soul is the same as yours. It's a variant. Destiny Spirit Eyes. That's my martial soul. Dai Luoli suddenly looked at his eyes. They were otherworldly pupils. His left, I was bluish gold, while his right, I was rose gold. There was even a golden third eye on his forehead. When I left, I swore that I would destroy that place to avenge my mother. However, I've thought about many things now. I've decided not to destroy that place. I just want to find the culprits to settle the score. The White Tiger Duke, the Duchess, and Dai Huabin. However, that doesn't include you and your mother. You are really my elder brother?" Dai Luoli was stunned as he asked. "Didn't you see it too?" Yuhao pointed at the bowl. Dai Luoli took in a deep breath. "Are you going to deal with father and the rest?" "Not now, but it's not far away. However, I'll have to settle the national crisis first. If I can't settle the national crisis, how can I settle the family matters?" Yuhao said. Dai Luoli sat down beside Yuhao and whispered, "Elder brother." Yuhao shuddered slightly. He hugged Dai Luoli and said, "Ah, little brother." Tears flowed from the corners of his eyes. Dai Luoli's eyes also turned a little red when he saw the tears on Yuhao's face. Yuhao's narration was very calm. However, Dai Luoli could tell that Yuhao had suffered a lot. He was just an 8-year-old kid, but he was already roaming the world. How did he survive all these years? A soul master's cultivation required him to hunt soul beasts. He had to bear all those dangers alone. You're thinking too much. It wasn't dangerous at all. However, elder brother, I still have something I want to ask. Yes, ask away. Are you sure you're really my elder brother and not my younger brother? Dai Luoli was in a daze as he touched Yuhao's head. Yuhao's face suddenly turned black. All right, you rascal, you're too thick-skinned, aren't you? You even dare to touch your elder brother's head? Let's see how I'll teach you a lesson. Ah! Yuhao felt a little warm in his heart. He could tell that Dai Luoli was doing this on purpose. He was only doing this to stop him from crying. Chapter 192. I was wondering what kind of person could enter my spiritual barrier. It turns out that your spiritual power is even stronger than mine. It just so happens that my death god pagoda lacks a few powerful souls to guard it. I'll take you guys in. A figure slowly walked out of the bloody light. Yes, she walked out of thin air. When she appeared, the surrounding air was clearly distorted. All the bloody light seemed to be worshipping her, supporting her arrival in this world. It was a woman, at least from her figure. Her voice was magnetic and slightly hoarse, but it seemed to have a special charm to it. It made it easy for people to feel close to her and even respect her. She walked forward step by step, and soul rings began to rise from her feet. When everyone saw her soul rings, they couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Her first soul ring was as black as ink, and its deep luster showed that it was a 10,000-year soul ring. Following that, soul rings rose one after another. Black, 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 red, 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 red. 6 10,000-year soul rings, 300,000-year soul rings. When all 9 soul rings appeared, even Shatterstar Daw was suppressed to the point that he found it difficult to breathe. Yuhao's brows furrowed slightly, but they quickly relaxed. Yuhao's lips curled. How frightening! I didn't expect the legendary death god Doloa to be an ultimate Doloa. His words shocked the 13 title Doloa. Ultimate Doloa? She's actually an ultimate Doloa? However, they actually didn't care how Yuhao saw through her strength. Senior, who exactly are you? Shatterstar Doloa asked in a deep voice. The appearance of an ultimate Doloa shocked him even more. As a title Doloa, he was even more shocked. After entering the ranks of title Doloa, he understood how difficult it was to advance by one rank. 95% of title Doloa would never reach the level of super Doloa, and 99% of title Doloa would never reach the level of ultimate Doloa. The ultimate Doloa was an existence that was close to becoming a demigod. He was known as the person closest to becoming a god. All he needed was a god's seat and a special transformation to become a god. Such an existence had been hiding in the Sun-Moon Empire all this time. In addition to the darkness holy dragon Xiaoyao, the two known living ultimate Doloa were both in the Sun-Moon Empire. It was no wonder that the Sun-Moon Empire had the confidence to declare war and unify the Doloa continent. They did indeed have a sufficient foundation. The ultimate Doloa Grim Reaper Doloa, coupled with the Grim Reaper, was an ultimate existence. With her around, they didn't need too many soldiers. Who am I? You don't have the qualifications to ask, the mysterious woman said coldly. There's no need to ask, Yuhao said very calmly. The Holy Ghost Religion's supreme leader, Grim Reaper Doluo Yishi Shui. She's from the same era as my teacher, Dragon God Doluo Muin, and Dragon Emperor Doluo Xiaoyao. After he finished speaking, all the titled Doluo were shocked. She was from the same era as those two. More importantly, she was the supreme leader of the Holy Ghost religion. Yishi Shui was shocked for the first time. She sized up Hui Yuhao again. If you are, Hui Yuhao didn't say anything. His eyes suddenly turned cold, and his aura started to rise. 1 gold for red, and 1 rose gold, 3 red. A terrifying combination of 9 soul rings. More importantly, his aura surpassed Yishi Shui's. Yishi Shui was shocked. Demigod, she spat out in disbelief. Wrong, Hui Yuhao said calmly. I'm a quasi-god. He looked at the titled law behind him again. Everyone get away. I'm about to destroy this place. Let's look at the situation now. Yes, the titled Doluo and the Tang men had all run away. Only the 2 of them were left. Now that everyone is gone, let's see what you're capable of. Grim Reaper Doluo Yishi Shui. Hui Yuhao curled his finger. However, Yishi Shui didn't rush over. You are the Holy Sun? Huh? Hui Yuhao tilted his head. How do you know? We've never met before. Weren't you taken away by the Holy Emperor? Why are you here? She asked in disbelief. The Holy Emperor? Oh, she's no match for me. At least, she wasn't in the past. Furthermore, she doesn't dare to do anything to me because she can't bear the consequences. He said calmly. What? Yishi Shui was stunned. She didn't know what was going on. With the Holy Emperor's strength, why would she be afraid of him? Could it be that she seemed to have thought of something terrifying. She looked at Yuhao with a hint of fear in her eyes. Let me see how strong Grim Reaper Doluo is. Hui Yuhao stretched his body slightly. He waved his hand gently, and a huge barrier enveloped the 2 of them in the Ming-Do mountain range. Huh, are you ready? Don't worry, I'll suppress my strength to the same level as yours. Hui Yuhao said. Yishi Shui sensed Hui Yuhao's aura carefully and realized that it was almost the same as hers. All right, I'm almost at the same level as you. Now, Yuhao clapped his hands, and a black door suddenly appeared behind him. Hui Yuhao's hair had also turned gray at some point in time. The black door slowly opened. Woo 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 woo. A bone-piercing howl sounded. There was a large wave of high-level skeleton soldiers, skeleton riders, zombies, liches, hellhounds, abominations, corpse bugs, bone dragons, zombie ice bear king, and the Death Knight Lich King. He was the leader at the very front of the group. Thousands of pairs of blue eyes stared at Yishi Shui. Yishi Shui suddenly trembled. Was this the power of the Holy Sun? He was really powerful. He could actually control the undead. She felt that they were all as strong as Doluo. There were even some that she couldn't see through. As expected of the Holy Sun. If our sect had the Holy Sun, we would definitely be able to achieve glory. We would be able to rule the entire world of Doluo. Whoever wants to rule can rule. As long as he doesn't mess up 13 Doluo, it doesn't matter how he rules. However, 13 Doluo can't be ruled by you. Hui Yuhao said, Go! Woo 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 woo. The Lich King led the undead and charged towards Yishi Shui. Hey, Holy Sun, didn't you say you wanted to fight one-on-one? Why? One-on-one? I didn't say that. Furthermore, why do you want to fight one-on-one if you can fight as a group? After that, Yishi Shui used the Death God Pagoda and lasted for 5 minutes. Following that, Yishi Shui used the power of space to find a weak point in the barrier. Then, she broke through the weak point and escaped. Don't ask why she was so weak. Yuhao did it on purpose. Otherwise, she would have been able to escape. She escaped. Hui Yuhao pretended to be slightly shocked. However, in the next moment, he smiled meaningfully. However, I've already gotten the result I wanted. Hey, don't you have a decent opponent? You asked me to bully a human who hasn't even become a god. Aren't you embarrassed? The Lich King looked at Hui Yuhao and said, Of course, don't say that. If you want a decent opponent, wait until I return to the God Realm. Please go back now. Otherwise, it won't be fun. Undead, retreat. Chapter 193. Let's skip to the extreme north. In the extreme north, a group of female soul engineers were surrounding a white-haired youth. The blue-haired youth was holding a lady in red armor. Hey, 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 get out of my way. I've already said that I'm only here because I'm curious. I'm not a spy. Get out of the way and let me out. Otherwise, I don't know what will happen to your commander. The blue-haired youth said to the oldest female soul engineer. His words were filled with threats. Rascal, if anything happens to her, I won't let you off. We'll see if you can beat me. Now get out of my way. Don't worry. I'll let her go once I leave this place safely. I'm a man of my word. After the blue-haired youth finished speaking, he left with the so-called commander. Dozens of kilometers away, on a high slope. It's really you. It's really you. I thought you were already dead. The lady hugged the blue-haired youth as tears streamed down her face. All right, stop crying, Juzi. It's not like you don't know that almost no one on the Doluwa continent can kill me. One of them was the commander of the Fire Phoenix Soul Engineer Legion, the Sun Moon Empress, Juzi. The other was Yuhao. As for why Yuhao was here, it was because he had come with Nan Xiuqiu to move the natural divine ice crystal away. After that, Yuhao wanted to return to the extreme north to see Little Bai. However, he bumped into the Soul Engineer Legion. After that, he came in openly to see what they were doing. After that, they fought a huge battle, which led to what had happened just now. Yuhao, do you know that my eyes haven't been so happy in a long time? I'm so happy to see you again. I'm so happy. Yuhao didn't say anything. He allowed Juzi to hug him. He had once been attracted to her. Although he only loved Tang Wudong and Wang Xiu'er, Juzi was the only one who had moved his heart for the first time. Yuhao, it's just as you said. We really did meet on the battlefield. Juzi said with a complicated expression on her face. After that, I wrote a bunch of mushy words that I didn't even want to write anymore. Then, don't try to struggle. There's no solution to this 10,000 drunkenness. It's not poison. It will only make you sleep for a while. Yuhao, I like you. Really, I really like you. I love you. You're the only man I have ever loved in my life. The scene in front of him was that of a 16-year-old boy who looked devilishly cute to the point of exploding, being held in the arms of a 20-year-old girl in a world of ice and snow. She was afraid that at this moment, a wretched weird uncle would suddenly jump out and shout, "Let go of that Shota. Let me do it." After that, everyone knows what Juzi did. Some people told me not to let Su Yunhan be born. I just want to say that I make the decisions for my novel. And most importantly, Su Yunhan was an important existence at the end of the game. Therefore, he had to be born. Sigma, winky face. Am I a spoiler? After that, Yuhao miraculously came back to life a second after Juzi left. Yuhao scram, I'm not dead. It's over. He looked at Juzi in the distance and sighed deeply. Why did you do this? However, he didn't know if she could take it. She took the god seed. In the icy plains of the extreme north, there was a gigantic ice bear. Its body was as large as a mountain, and there were blue dragon scales all over its body. It even had a pair of folded dragon wings on its back. Its aura caused all the nearby soul beasts to tremble in fear. It was the Ice Bear King, who had the bloodline of dragons. At this moment, this powerful Ice Bear King was crawling on the ground. On a mountain peak not far from it, there was a devilishly handsome young man. Grandfather, I've completed what you asked Little Bai to do. Thank you for your hard work, Little Bai. The young man seemed to be thinking about something as he casually spoke to the bear. The giant bear, called Little White, blinked. Grandpa, what are you thinking about? Oh, Grandpa. Oh, it's nothing. Tell me, Little Bai, was it right for me to ask Juzi to take away that thing? The young man seemed a little lost. This young man was Yuhao. So that's what Grandfather is thinking about. Grandfather, I've never been in a relationship before, but I know that it's fine as long as I follow my heart. Why do I have to care about what others think? If Grandfather thinks that's the right thing to do, then it's the right thing to do. Other people's opinions are only their opinions. Little Bai revealed a bear-like smile. However, this smile was really, hee hee. I didn't expect you to say something like that. Yuhao laughed. That's right. Yuhao, you're not who you used to be. You're zero. You're the beginning and end of everything. This is your life. You just have to follow your heart. The Sky Dream, Ice Empress, Snow Empress, and the others appeared around him. Cheer up, our Dragon Master. This isn't like you. The 8 Dragon Kings appeared behind him one by one. As the inheritor of fate, you should never regret your choices. The Qilin also appeared. Tang Yu, who saved me, wouldn't have such an expression. The 9-tailed Empress Scorpion also appeared. This king won't think about those things. How could such a small matter make you think about life? What if something big happens? Han Tian's voice sounded from the depths of his soul. All of you. Yuhao was stunned. Everyone spoke at the same time. No matter what you do, we'll support you. That's because we're family. Family. Yuhao muttered. Suddenly, something flashed across his mind. Speaking of which, the reason why Zhu Zi started this war is because the war between the Star Luo Empire and the Sun Moon Empire destroyed her family and took their lives. It's not wrong for Zhu Zi to start a war to take revenge. However, this method is a little too much. What if? A thought flashed across his mind. Jumping into the Evil Soul Master's camp to save Tanya, Xiaoya. Bei looked at Tanya, who was only a step away from him. He couldn't control his emotions at all. Bei. Tanya's trembling voice sounded. In the next moment, the two of them finally hugged each other. This hug seemed to last forever. Hey. All right, Bei, Xiaoya. If you want to show off your love, wait until we're out. Don't show off in battle. Su Sanshur, who had been shielding them from the attacks coming from all directions, complained. The two of them hurriedly separated. Su Sanshur, you can rest now? Watch me show off my prowess. Tanya said, domineeringly. 2 yellow, 2 purple, 2 black, and 2 red. 8 soul rings revolved around her. I don't want to pretend anymore. Dark golden blue-silver emperor started to gather in her hand and condensed into a spear. Dark golden blue-silver tyrant spear. She pointed at the soul engineer legions and said, I want to vent. After that, they successfully rescued her. As for why Ma Xiaodao wasn't there, Yuhao had already found out. It turned out that Ma Xiaodao was actually in closed-door cultivation to become a super Dolaw. It seemed like he could only wait and see. Chapter 194. 3 years later, don't worry, it wasn't actually 3 years, Forbidden Island. Boom! A bolt of purple lightning descended from the sky. What blocked the lightning was a golden-black tortoise shield. Hey, Bei, is your lightning only at this level? That's too weak. Behind the golden Xuanwu shield, a handsome youth had his hands on his hips as he mocked the purple-haired youth. Weren't these two Bei and Su Sanshur? Sanshur, you're wrong if you think that way. Su Sanshur realized that he couldn't move his entire body. Paralysis effect? Mystical water purification. Black water droplets started to appear above Su Sanchi's head. The water droplets landed on Su Sanchi's body, and the paralysis effect disappeared instantly. The mystical water purification's effect was to purify all negative effects. Furthermore, it was a martial soul talent that Su Sanshur had developed over the past few days. As long as he was in a negative state, he would automatically be purified by the mystical water. More importantly, he could purify others too. It's really powerful. Bei smiled elegantly. Then, how about this? The 8th red soul ring of Bei's 9 soul rings lit up, and 9 purple clouds appeared above Su Sanshur. 9 heavenly lightning annihilation. The corner of Su Sanchi's mouth twitched. It was obvious that he knew how powerful it was. Boom, boom, boom. 9 bolts of lightning roared, and smoke rose. Bei shook his head. It still wasn't as powerful as he wanted it to be. As the smoke and dust dissipated, a huge pit appeared in front of Bei. There was only a huge golden turtle shell below, and 9 soul rings. 2 yellow, 2 purple, 2 black, and 3 red appeared around it. The 9th soul ring lit up. Absolute defense. Bei laughed bitterly. Su Sanshur immediately popped his head out of the turtle shell and roared furiously. Are you trying to kill me? The 9 heavenly lightning annihilation isn't a joke. If not for the fact that I've already made some progress in understanding absolute defense, wouldn't I have been killed by you? My 9 heavenly lightning annihilation isn't as powerful as I want it to be. If it's as powerful as I want it to be, I'll be able to break through your absolute defense. Bei said regretfully. Hey, don't be discouraged. Haven't you been working hard? You'll reach it. Bei, let's rest for a while. A woman's voice rang out from a stalk of grass. It's Xiaoya. Bei was delighted. Ha! Xiaoya, your ability to sense flowers and plants is getting better and better. No matter how powerful it is, it's still a probing skill. Let me show you my new skill. The grass said. In the next moment, the grass began to emit a green light. The other flowers and plants around the grass also emitted a green light. In the next moment, Tangyu appeared in front of the two of them. Oh my God, this! The two of them were dumbfounded. Is this spatial teleportation? It's a little similar. However, it relies on plants to teleport through space. I named it One Flower, One World. As long as there are plants, I can teleport. I can even teleport others. Tangyu laughed. This is amazing. The two of them gave him a thumbs up. Xiaoya, you've come. A blonde woman walked over. She had a pair of rabbit ears on her head, and her appearance was beautiful and elegant. More importantly, she had a very strange charm that would always attract the attention of others. I can't. Nan, hurry up and put away your charm body. I'm really. Su Sanshur covered his nose. Even Bei had almost succumbed just now. It was just that he had used lightning to jolt himself back to his senses. Oof. Filthy fellow. The woman flung her long hair and snorted at Su Sanshur. She was Jiang Nanan. I have to say, Nanan, your charm body is really the nemesis of men. Tangyu said, that might not be the case. Who knows, it might not work on Yuhao. Jiang Nanan said, how can Hui Yuhao be bewitched? I'm afraid that he'll charm you instead, Nanan. Su Sanshur covered his nose and laughed. You. Jiang Nanan's charming face turned slightly red. Ha ha ha. The three of them immediately laughed. What are you guys talking about? Why are you laughing so happily? A petite and beautiful woman with a flute in her hand walked over. Behind her was a big man wearing black and gold armor. It's Xiao and Kaitu. Xiao, your music must have improved a lot, right? Speaking of which, Kaitu, are you still unable to take off this armor? Bei asked. The big man in armor nodded. That's right. Only the helmet can be taken off. The rest can't be taken off at all. I can't even sleep wearing this. The most important thing is... He looked at Xiao. Xiao's small face suddenly became very red. Oh, I understand you. Don't worry, there will always be a way. Su Sanchi's wretched eyes explained everything. You wretched fellow. Jiang Nanan gave him a slap on the head. Su Sanshur, who had absolute defense, actually had a big bump on his head. Whoa, Nanan, it hurts. Your penetrating fist can't enter again, right? How ruthless. Su Sanshur cried out as he touched the bump on his head. At this moment, a melodious tune sounded, and Su Sanchi's bump instantly disappeared. Xiao's healing song has improved a lot. Su Sanshur touched his head, which was already healed. We heard the sound of the flute from afar. She has improved a lot. 5 figures walked out from the depths of the forest. No, it was more accurate to say that there were 6 of them. One of them was actually transparent. Furthermore, she was floating in midair. It's Brother Ji and Sister Xian. There's also Chio, Gai, Nana, and Luoli. Speaking of which, Nana, your seductive body has already been perfected? Really? Won't you be immune to all physical attacks, and most special attacks in the future? You're invincible, Shrek and the others exclaimed. Eldest Senior, I can't say that I'm invincible. Some special attacks are my nemesis. For example, Eldest Senior's lightning, Miss Chio, and Miss Gai's annihilation and holy powers, as well as your light and purification powers, are my nemesis. Nana said faintly. After all these years of training, her personality had changed a little. Her words were always faintly spoken. Let's fight. Ji Juechen pulled out his Dao God sword. His sword aura was retracted, and he was ready to unleash it at any time. Go away. Who can last 100 rounds against you? Su Sanshur immediately cowered. He could defend against Ji Juechen's sword. With his absolute defense, he was invincible as long as the attack was within his range. However, he couldn't defeat Ji Juechen. That? I can do it. Dai Luoli raised his hand and said, Luoli, you can actually last 100 rounds against him? Su Sanshur was astonished. To be precise, I can't last 100 rounds. I can't lose, Ji Juechen said. After hearing Ji Juechen's words, the 5 of them were stunned as they looked at Dai Luoli. They knew how strong Ji Juechen was. However, Dai Luoli was actually invincible. This was really... Boom! A loud boom sounded, and the ground shook. Everyone looked at the volcano in the distance helplessly. The volcano had erupted, and lava was flowing out. How many times has this happened? Su Sanchi's mouth twitched. I don't know. Everyone shook their heads. A phoenix's cry resonated in the sky. A huge phoenix soared into the sky. Sister Xiaodao has woken up again. Su Sanshur was a little angry as he spoke. After all, every time she didn't wake up, the volcano would erupt. They were already used to it. The heavenly fire phoenix transformed into a lady in red. Her fiery red hair fluttered in the wind. She stretched. I don't know how long I've slept this time. Sister Xiaodao, Shrek, and the others shouted. It's you guys. It seems like you're having a gathering. Ma Xiaodao landed on the ground. Sister Xiaodao, you're really something. Why do you keep causing the volcano to erupt? Can't you not live in a volcano? Su Sanshur complained. Only a volcano is suitable for me to live in on this island. Ma Xiaodao said domineeringly. Everyone was speechless. Speaking of which, didn't everyone get that thing? Ma Xiaodao suddenly became very serious. Everyone else also became very serious. Yes, the black tortoise only gave this to me after I fought a few hundred rounds with it. Su Sanshur pointed at the turtle shell mark that had suddenly appeared on his forehead. Bei had a lightning imprint on his forehead. Tangya had a leaf imprint on her forehead. Jiang Nanan had a cherry blossom imprint on her forehead, and Xiao Xiao had a musical note imprint. He Kaitu took off his helmet and revealed the word tool on his forehead. Ji Juechen's imprint was a colorful cloud imprint. Nan Xiuqiu's was a purple sword imprint. Jing Xian's was a diamond-shaped imprint that looked like a dragon scale. Yi Gai's was a holy golden angel imprint. Dai Luoli's was a blood-red tiger imprint. Nana's was like a little spirit. It was quite cute. Ma Xiaodao's was a fiery red flame imprint. It seems like everyone has gotten it. Hui Yuhao's voice suddenly sounded. Hui Yuhao appeared in front of everyone. Tang Dong, and Wang Qiu appeared with him. Yuhao, little brother, big brother, young master. Different names sounded. Those who called him Yuhao were naturally Shrek and the rest, as well as Ji Juechen, Jing Xian, Nan Xiuqiu, and Yi Gai. Only Ma Xiaodao and Dai Luoli called him little brother and big brother. As for young master, only Nana would call him that. They hadn't seen Yuhao in 3 years. They couldn't see him at all, apart from communicating with him mentally. It seems like everyone has gained a lot. Hui Yuhao laughed. That's for sure. Dong, and Qiu are both here. Su Sanshur said. Yes, we're here to bring all of you back. Wang Qiu said plainly. Sigh. I'm a little reluctant to leave after spending 3 years here. Su Sanshur said. Sigh. Thinking about how I've been here for 3 years, I really can't bear to leave now. Su Sanshur said somewhat sadly. Then you can stay. Wang Qiu said plainly. Ugh, but I still miss the Dolua continent. That's my home, my hometown. Su Sanchi's expression immediately changed. However, we've grown a lot over the past 3 years, haven't we? Bei asked Su Sanshur. Yes, that's a huge growth, he Kaitu said. 3 years? Eldest senior brother. Actually, only a year has passed on the Dolua continent. Tang Dong laughed. What? Everyone was stunned. The ratio of time on the Forbidden Island is different from that on the Doluwa continent. It's probably because of the power of space and time. Anyway, you've spent 3 years on the Forbidden Island, but only a year has passed on the Doluwa continent, Yuhao explained. It's indeed a magical island. Everyone sighed. All right, this time, let's be my new brothers and enjoy the sea breeze. Go, Brother Black Tortoise. Su Sanshur made a gesture that resembled a summoning gesture. A crow passed by with countless black dots. Sigh. Brother Black Tortoise? Brother Black Tortoise? What's going on? He's ignoring me? Su Sanshur scratched his head. Yuhao laughed. This guy's afraid of me. Back then, forget it. Everyone, let's sit on something more exciting. In an instant, 8 dragons of different colors appeared in front of everyone. Everyone was speechless. F***CK. Dragons. They're dragons. Furthermore, they seem to be very powerful. The 8 great dragon kings. Let me introduce them. They're my companions from my previous life, and also my family. Everyone was stunned. Su Sanshur even wanted to say, Dragon subduing God. Please accept my respect. The 8 great dragon kings? Aren't there 9 of them? Ma Xiaodao knew about the legends of the 9 great dragon kings. The 9th one is right in front of you, the 8 great dragon kings said. Everyone was shocked. They weren't surprised that they could speak, but they were surprised that their voices were all female. The 9th one is me, Ice Dragon King. Ice Dragon King. Well, Yuhao pointed at himself. Then, everyone understood and put on a shocked expression. In short, they were riding a dragon back this time. When they came, they were riding a whale. When they left, they were riding a dragon. This kind of treatment was really hard to come by. Chapter 195. After Bei Bei and the others returned to Shrek safely, they jumped to where Yuhao killed Su Tianran. As for Xiao Yao and Yi Shishui, who were supposed to be dead, they gained immortal souls with Yuhao's help, just like Elder Mu. The 2 of them went overseas for their honeymoon, while Elder Mu continued to stay in the Golden Tree. My heart ached for Elder Mu. Evil Demon Forest. Zhongli Wu asked Nangong Wan, Is there still no news from the Sovereign Sect's leader? Not yet. The Sovereign Sect's leader left in the morning, and there's still no news from him. Nangong Wan replied respectfully. Zhongli Wu furrowed his brow and said, The last batch of resources has been transported away, and our people have returned. As long as we transport these resources out, we can temporarily abandon this place and seal the entrance. We'll return when we have the chance in the future. This is the foundation of our sect. We'll return one day. Nangong Wan nodded and said, We'll definitely return. Sect leader, when are we leaving? Zhongli Wu replied without hesitation. We'll leave immediately after we pack up. Nangong Wan was stunned. Aren't we going to wait for the Supreme Elder and Elder Long? Zhongli Wu shook his head and said no. The Supreme Elder doesn't want us to wait for her. I don't know what she's thinking. Since the Sun Moon Empire has already shed all pretense of cordiality with us, why don't they let us take revenge? With her strength, if she wanted to do it, who could stop her? I'm not worried about her safety. We'll leave immediately after we pack up. Talents are our foundation. As long as we leave this place and accumulate some strength, it won't be a problem for us to make a comeback. Yes. Nangong Wan acknowledged respectfully. Zhongli Wu was the master here, and he could only listen to his orders. At this moment, Zhongli Wu and Feng Ling raised their heads at the same time and looked into the sky. Their expressions changed drastically, as if they had encountered something terrifying. Oh no, a strong enemy has appeared. Ask him for help. Zhongli Wu shouted. In the next instant, a cluster of dazzling golden flames rose into the air and exploded in the air. Then another golden light shot even higher into the sky and exploded as well. You can't escape anymore. Yuhao, Tang Dong, and Wang Qiu appeared at the same time. It's you. Zhongli Wu was shocked. He didn't call him Lord Holy Sun because he no longer had the right to do so. You can all die now. Yuhao raised one hand. Tang Dong raised the hammer of the Celestial Emperor, and Wang Qiu'er drew the catastrophe bow and knocked the soul-devouring arrow. Wait! A low voice sounded. Zhong Li Wu and the others were elated. My lord, you are finally here. They're causing trouble in your territory. Please punish these people who dare to disturb the peace of the evil demon forest. Yuhao and the other two looked up into the sky. The gigantic eye and the 81 pairs of tentacles danced in the air. Wasn't this the second-ranked beast of the 10 great savage beasts, the Beholder Tyrant? Many titled the Law called him the Evil Emperor. Let them go, the Evil Emperor said plainly. Zhong Li Wu and the others were very excited. At least they still had a chance of survival if the Evil Emperor was here. However, in the next moment, their hopes were dashed. Let them go, let me kill them. So you asked them to build a base here because you want to kill them? Yuhao asked as he looked at the Evil Emperor, who had transformed into a blood-haired youth. I've been unhappy with them for a long time. I tricked them into my base before I attacked them. This way, I won't miss a single rat, the Evil Emperor said. But there are still remnants of the holy ghost religion. Tang Donger said. The remaining members are no longer a threat. Let them fend for themselves. Wang Qiu'er said. But they are still a hidden tumor. Yuhao muttered. Let's not think about it anymore. Anyway, we've already destroyed the base. Now, come back, Evil Emperor. Oh yes, Yuhao, if you have time, I advise you to go to the Skyen mountain range in the westernmost part of the Dolua continent. Something terrible has happened there. After the Evil Emperor finished speaking, he turned into a red light and entered Yuhao's forehead. The Skyen mountain range. Yuhao closed his eyes. His third eye opened on his forehead as he looked towards the west of the Dolua continent. In the next moment, Yuhao's eyes suddenly opened. There was an indescribable shock in his eyes. This isn't good. Tang Dong and Xiao both looked toward the west. Wang Qiu also opened her third eye. She had the same expression as Yuhao. Indeed, it's bad. However, it doesn't seem to have started expanding. Let's go there after we kill Su Tianran. Sun Moon Imperial Palace. Su Tianran lifted his wine cup and revealed a smile on his face. He said, Come, consecrators. Let's toast to the Sun Moon Empire's conquest of the Xingluo and Do Ling Empires and the unification of the continent. To victory, the 6th-class 9-soul engineers hurriedly lifted their wine cups and said in unison. What no one noticed was that when they brought their wine cups to their lips, there was a small ice crystal in front of them. There was an inconspicuous little ice crystal in everyone's wine glass. Today's wine was brewed from grapes, and there was no clue about it in the dark red liquid. I wonder if it's because His Majesty is treating us. This wine tastes really good. One of the Class 9 soul engineers laughed. Su Tianran's expression suddenly changed. He turned his head to look at the servant beside him. How could the taste of the same pot of wine be different from the previous cup and the next cup? He remembered very clearly that he hadn't changed the pot. At this moment, Su Tianran was especially sensitive to the slightest movement of grass in the wind. What made him feel more at ease was that the servant didn't change because of his gaze. Instead, he seemed a little lost. He lowered his head and said respectfully, Your Majesty, would you like another cup? Just as Su Tianran relaxed a little, his and the other 6-class 9-soul engineers' expressions changed at the same time. The wine that was originally cool suddenly became ice-cold. The wine should have been close to body temperature after entering their stomachs, but it seemed to have started to freeze. A sinister aura instantly spread throughout their bodies, causing everyone to feel a chill. Furthermore, that chill seemed to have frozen their blood and passageways. Oh no! One of the Class 9 soul engineers shouted. A layer of fog rose from his body. His reaction wasn't slow. His goal was very simple. He wanted to use his powerful soul power to force the wine out of his body. However, when he circulated his soul force, he discovered that something was wrong. Although the soul force in his body was still vigorous, wherever the wine passed, regardless of whether it was his bloodline or soul force, everything seemed to be frozen. When his soul force came into contact with the frighteningly cold wine, it was immediately frozen along with his soul force. Even his energy was frozen. What kind of terrifying power was this? Su Tianran was doing the same thing. However, when his soul power came into contact with the cold wine, he realized that something was wrong. His expression immediately changed and became very ugly. This was his first time encountering such a situation. Lethal poison? That was the first thing that came to his mind. There was no other possibility apart from lethal poison. However, the wine that he drank was tasted by professionals before it was served. They were also carefully tested. Only after they confirmed that there were no problems would they be served to him. How is this possible? How is this possible? Why aren't you guys continuing to eat? Hurry up and eat. Hurry up and eat. Otherwise, you won't have the chance to enjoy such a sumptuous dinner in the future. A young man's voice could be heard. Everyone was shocked. Who is this? Quick, pass down my orders. Seal. Su Tianran shouted softly. He realized that it was very difficult for him to speak. This was because his throat seemed to be frozen. When he spoke, white fog would even come out of his mouth. It's useless. Don't shout. I've already sealed the palace. In front of everyone, Yuhao, Tang Dong, and Wang Qiu'er slowly appeared. It was as if the air had turned into them. You are. Su Tianran was astonished as he looked at Yuhao. Long time no see. Su Tianran. Yuhao picked up a chicken drumstick from the table and started eating. Your food is barely passable. You guys should take this opportunity to eat. After all, this is your last dinner. Yuhao drank a glass of wine and smiled amiably as he spoke. However, that smile was a nightmare in everyone's eyes. Who was he? He was the madman who had bombed Radiant City, the Eye of the Shura. What do you want? Su Tianran supported himself on the table to prevent himself from falling. Nothing much. Hurry up and finish your last dinner. I'll send you guys on your way. Yuhao, Tang Dong, and Wang Qiu'er sat down together and enjoyed the delicious food. The two girls were very disappointed with the food. After all, they had grown up eating Yuhao's cooking. Now, everyone in the Sun Moon Empire was in despair. Yuhao looked at their despairing expressions and his gaze turned cold. Since you guys don't want to eat, then forget it. I wanted you guys to be full ghosts before you die. It seems like you can only be hungry ghosts. Yuhao snapped his fingers. In the next moment, everyone in the Sun Moon Empire felt as if their bodies were about to explode. From their blood vessels to their hearts. Boom! The upgraded version of the ice explosion technique. Ice shard covered the ground. Of course, there was also a layer of blood red. Yuhao clapped his hands. Let's call it day. You guys really killed him? Zhu Zi was stunned. Yes. It won't be long before news of Su Tianran's death spreads. Tang Dong hugged Yuhao's arm as she spoke. Qiu'er held his hand. To her, she didn't need to be so intimate. She was satisfied just holding his hand. However, in Zhu Zi's eyes, she was envious of the two girls. However, she had her own secret. She was pregnant with Yuhao's child. This was something that the two girls couldn't do. Zhu Zi, we have to go. I hope you can keep your promise and not start a war for 10 years. Once you do, the Doluo continent will be in danger. Yuhao looked towards the west as he spoke. Where are you guys going? Zhu Zi heard something from Yuhao's words. A dangerous place. After Yuhao finished speaking, he grabbed Tang Dong, and Wang Qiu'er and disappeared from Zhu Zi's sight. Zhu Zi stood there in a daze. Yuhao, don't worry. I won't start a war. That's our promise. Oh, hello. A weird voice suddenly sounded. Who is it? Zhu Zi was shocked. When this voice appeared, her entire body trembled. A young girl wearing a fox mask appeared out of thin air. Let me introduce myself. I'm Alex. What do you want? Zhu Zi asked very carefully. You have desires in your heart, but you've been suppressing them. I just can't stand those who suppress their desires. You want revenge, right? You want to be by your lover's side, right? You? Zhu Zi was stunned. She actually knew what she wanted, haha. If you have such strong desires, then release them. In the name of the original sin of desire. Release your desires. Alex tapped Zhu Zi's forehead gently. In the next moment, The flames of revenge that had been buried in Zhu Zi's heart were reignited. In the next moment, Zhu Zi collapsed to the ground. Haha, that's more like it. The young girl in the mask laughed. It's a pity that you love the wrong person. That's our master, you know. Although he was... She took off her fox mask and revealed her cute appearance. She looked into the distance and smiled strangely. Master, everyone can't wait. Yuhao suddenly trembled. He seemed to have sensed something. What's wrong, Yuhao? The two girls asked. No, nothing. Yuhao shook his head. However, he didn't think so. He seemed to have sensed the aura of the first god of desire, Alex. It should be an illusion. If she's here, then the other 6 should be. Chapter 196. The Universe Boom. An unimaginably huge 9-headed dragon smashed into the moon, forming a huge crater in the shape of a dragon. It was said that the formation of this crater had puzzled the scientists on Doloa for the next 20,000 years. Cough, cough, I've digressed. The 9-headed dragon slowly crawled out of the crater, looking sharply at the 18 figures in the sky. Weren't those figures Yuhao and the others? And that 9-headed dragon was Austin Griffin. Roar. It's really troublesome to have no teammates to support me in a team battle, Austin Griffin complained. In a one-on-one fight, he could crush any one of Yuhao and the others. After all, he was now a godly emperor, and the strongest among Yuhao's group seemed to be Yuhao, a half-step godly emperor. He wouldn't lose even in a 1-on-5 fight. However, if it was a 1-on-1 fight with 18 Koff, it would be a little troublesome. Yuhao and the others landed on the moon, looking at the slightly injured Austin. It's really strong. It's only slightly injured under our group attack, Silas said, wagging her 9 tails. As expected of a godly emperor. Even if we're all godly kings who have grasped the power of the universe, we can only injure it this much in a group attack, Qi Lin said solemnly, sheathing her 2 golden swords behind her back. At this point, the White Dragon King looked at Yuhao, who was at the front, and asked, should we use 9 Dragon's Breath again? If we do that, we might fall first. Yuhao was hesitant. Let's restrain ourselves, the Inferno Dragon King said. But the next moment, Austin Griffin spoke. What do you think will happen if I destroy the moon? The next moment, everyone's expression changed. Without the moon, 13 Doa would have no night and no moontide. This would cause the climate to become abnormal and the seasons to become chaotic. At that time, Doloa would become a dead planet. Stop it! The Dragon King's breath of the 8 great Dragon Kings had already gathered in their mouths. The Qilin drew his huge golden sword again, and the 9-tailed scorpion's tail was already aimed at Austin. The auras of the 7 spirit souls continuously fused with Yuhao. In the next instant, a 10th divine ring appeared behind Yuhao. In the next moment, Austin was surrounded. Don't you dare move. Yuhao's voice was laced with anger. Ha ha! What's there to be afraid of? Austin's 9th head pierced into the surface of the moon, and a massive destructive force began to enter the moon, about to destroy the interior of the moon. Bastard. Let's go. Yuhao was furious. But in the next moment, a voice interrupted everyone. How you, Stop. When Austin Griffin heard this voice, his entire body trembled. His 9th head stopped transmitting destructive force and slowly pulled itself out from the interior of the moon, looking in the direction of the voice in disbelief. Even Yuhao was slightly stunned when he saw this person suddenly appear. There was a familiar aura on his body. The person who appeared was a young man with large golden eyes, long eyelashes, a straight nose, fair skin, and moderately thick lips. His appearance was beautiful enough to make any woman jealous. If he were to dress up as a woman, he would definitely be a beauty that could cause the downfall of a country. Yuhao, I've finally found someone who's in the same situation as me. His long golden hair draped behind his back, and he wore a translucent white armor. The crown on his head was embedded with 9 gems, looking extremely dazzling. There were 3 pairs of golden wings on his back. There were many light elements revolving around him. How what are you doing? Why are you running around again? Didn't I say that this would cause trouble for others? The young man was very angry, and he came in front of Austin to lecture him. Who is this kid? He actually dares to talk to Austin Griffin like that? All the beasts were shocked. They could tell that this young man was not a god at all. To be precise, he was a god without a god. If there was a suitable god, he would have already become a god, and at the very least, he would definitely be at the level of an enforcer. Furthermore, his appearance had actually caused Austin Griffin to calm down and become extremely obedient. Its 18 pairs of eyes were filled with grievance. Was this still the Austin Griffin that had been boasting about destroying the moon? No, it was actually acting cute. So many powerful magical beasts. The young man also noticed that everyone present was not human. Although he himself was not a pure human. I'm very sorry. My Hao Yue has caused trouble for everyone. Hao Yue was swept away by the space-time turbulence. Don't ask me how I met him. I've been looking for him for a long time. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Long Haochen. When he heard Long Haochen, Yuhao suddenly froze. Long Haochen? Long Haochen. Your senior apprentice brother. Yuhao turned into his human form and said to Long Haochen in astonishment. Long Haochen also froze when he saw Yuhao, whose appearance was even worse than his. Heavens! I finally found someone in the same predicament. The next moment, he reacted, Senior apprentice brother? Brother, did you make a mistake? Is your teacher the holy necromancer Calamity, necromancer Electrolux? Yuhao said. Long Haochen suddenly trembled and looked at Yuhao in disbelief. I'm teacher's disciple in this world. When teacher was on the verge of death in your world, a trace of his soul crossed over to this world and met me. Teacher once mentioned senior apprentice brother and senior apprentice sister. I can be considered teacher's true successor, Yuhao said, and used necromancy magic at the same time. It really is necromancy magic. Long Haochen was shocked. Was this person who was so beautiful that he could topple all living things really his junior apprentice brother? But, teacher, he clearly already... No, teacher has already been resurrected. Yuhao interrupted Long Haochen. Long Haochen's pupils shrank. Teacher has been resurrected? Really? At this moment, a gray ray of light came out from Yuhao's forehead and turned into a man with long gray hair. Haochen, long time no see. Teacher. Long Haochen was so emotional that tears flowed down his face as he knelt down. You finally acknowledged me as your teacher? Good. Haochen, quickly get up. Do you want your junior apprentice brother to laugh at you? Electrolux raised his hand, and Long Haochen uncontrollably stood up from the ground. His teacher had become even stronger than before. He had actually detested Electrolux greatly in the past. However, ever since Electrolux had used the Heart of Eternity to save him, he had truly acknowledged this teacher. It's a pity that Kai didn't come out with me. Otherwise, she would definitely be very happy. All right, stop messing around. Let's go home. Long Haochen rubbed Austin Griffin, and all 8 heads nodded at the same time. Only the 9th head did not. After all, the 9th head had once been his bad side. Even though he had managed to adjust himself, his temper was still the same. In Yuhao's words, he was still in his rebellious phase. Head of heavenly wrath, you know that I originally had to seal you, but I didn't. Do you know why? Long Haochen looked at Austin Griffin's 9th head. The head of heavenly wrath did not say anything. That's because you're a part of Hao Yue. Then, you're also my family, my younger brother. Long Haochen smiled. Family. Younger brother. The head of heavenly wrath remained silent for a long time. Just when everyone thought he was going to give up, the head of heavenly wrath's eyes turned pure red. Destroy. The head of heavenly wrath opened his mouth and moved towards Long Haochen. Hao Yue. Long Haochen was stunned. He never thought that Hao Yue would suddenly attack him. Senior brother back. Yuhao hurriedly pulled him back. Everyone, beast, immediately entered a state of alert. The current Austin Griffin was very strange. The 8 heads immediately fell silent. When they opened their eyes, they discovered that their eyes had also turned pure red. The 8 Dragon Kings immediately had a bad premonition. They all charged towards the 8 heads, and each dragon bit ahead. Scram! The 8 heads swung at the same time, throwing the 8 dragon kings away. When the 8 dragon kings stabilized themselves, 8 bolts of black lightning shot towards them. Lightning? Move aside, let me. Lightning Dragon King rushed out. His body was immediately surrounded by lightning. Under the effect of my heavenly lightning protection, no lightning attribute can harm me. The 8 bolts of lightning were originally scattered, but now they actually changed their trajectory at the same time and shot towards Lightning Dragon King. Boom! Lightning Dragon King slowly fell onto the moon. His eyes had turned into mosquito coils. Miscalculated, world-destroying black lightning. It's not within my range. After saying that, he completely collapsed. He turned into purple light and entered Yuhao's forehead. Damn it! Everyone, take revenge for Lei Yi. The remaining 7 Dragon Kings were furious. Great Earth Prison. Earth Dragon King's younger brother. Huge rocks began to drill out from the ground and imprison Yue. Fierce dragon bursting flames. Whirlwind clouds. Stormy waves. Holy radiance. Black dragon heavenly flame. Spatial fluctuation. Yue gave them a disdainful look. Elemental heavenly wrath. 9 different colored light waves were spat out from his mouth. They passed through the great earth prison, and those attacks were instantly destroyed. Just as they were about to land on the remaining 7 Dragon Kings, Yuhao suddenly stood in front of them. A huge ice mirror blocked in front of them. The ice mirror directly reflected the 9 light waves. They were reflected into the vast universe, and they even shattered a passing flying saucer to express their condolences. How can this be? Yue, what's wrong with you? Long Haochen said to him, Senior brother, don't go over. There's something wrong with him. Yuhao stopped him. It's not just a little. It's extremely wrong. Alux said indifferently. The red eyes of the head of heavenly wrath stared at Yuhao. He let out a voice that Yuhao was very familiar with. I'll kill you. God emotions. This voice is... Yuhao was shocked. His face gradually turned cold. Divine Emperor of Order? What? All the beasts were shocked. Yue? Long Haochen was stunned. You actually use soul seas? I can't believe you actually did that. Can you be any more shameless? Did Austin offend you or offend you? Yuhao mocked. I'll kill you. I can temporarily borrow his body at all costs. The head of Heavenly Wrath's voice had completely become the voice of order. Bastard, hurry up and get out of Yue's body. A sword had appeared in Long Haochen's hand at some point. The sword of eternity and creation, said the head of Heavenly Wrath. Yuhao's eyes revealed that he had expected it. No wonder it felt so familiar. So, I see. You're actually the successor chosen by the God of creation, said the head of Heavenly Wrath in shock. What did you say? I don't understand. Hurry up and get out of Yue's body. Long Haochen swung the sword of eternity and creation at the 9th head. Can you do that? He's your younger brother. Order's voice rang out. Long Haochen's movements suddenly froze. However, it was also in that instant that the head of Heavenly Wrath swung its head and slammed into Long Haochen. Long Haochen flew backwards like a meteor. Yuhao hurriedly caught the flying Long Haochen. Puffed. Long Haochen spat out a mouthful of blood. Are you all right? Yuhao asked. I'm fine. Thank you, junior brother. Long Haochen wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. The two of them looked at Yue. What did he mean when he said that I'm the successor of some god of creation? Long Haochen was puzzled. It means on the surface. Senior brother, you've been chosen by the god of creation. Her deity position is actually in your body. Yuhao was also a little surprised. The deity position of the god of creation? Could it be the divine throne of eternity and creation? Long Haochen said to Yuhao, yes, that's her exclusive throne. At the same time, it's also her inheritance. If she fancies a suitable person, she'll pass her deity position to that person. Electrolux, who had been very calm from the side, said, but teacher, our place is clearly, I know. It's impossible to become a god, right? That's right. Our place is a place that the god realm has no jurisdiction over. So those who want to become a god in the end will all turn into nothingness. Electrolux said slowly. Senior brother, only you can save Austin now. He's the companion of the god of creation, so the only one who can save him is you. However, it's you after inheriting the deity position of the god of creation. What Yuhao said to Longhauchen. Chapter 197. 1 year later, Daddy, what do you think my martial soul will be? 6-year-old Tang Wulin excitedly asked Tang Ziren. How could Daddy not know? You should have the same martial soul as your big brother. Tang Ziren rubbed his head. Oh, could it be that my martial soul will also be a dragon? That's awesome. Tang Wulin excitedly said. Daddy, where did big brother go? He only came back very late this year. Tang Wulin asked. Your big brother doesn't want to study here, so he has to work hard on his cultivation. Then he will go to the academy that all soul masters dream of. Speaking of the academy that all soul masters dream of, Tang Wulin instantly revealed a yearning expression. That was the Shrek Academy that had stood tall for over 20,000 years. 20,000 years of vicissitudes had allowed it to nurture countless genius soul masters. It had even nurtured a god. For example, the earliest Shrek Academy from 20,000 years ago had nurtured the legendary Poseidon Tang San, who had destroyed the martial Soul Palace, as well as Tang San's younger brother, the god of fate, Tang Yu. It was said that Tang Yu was even more formidable than his brother. If one were to name the most monstrous student that Shrek Academy had nurtured, no one would hesitate to say that it was the god of emotions, Yuhao, who had suppressed foreign species and saved the continent of Dolua 10,000 years ago. His deeds surpassed even Tang San's, and his heroic deeds were too numerous to count. He had single-handedly challenged 100 geniuses from the Sun-Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy. He was the youngest and most monstrous soul engineer in history, the youngest titled Doa and Limit Doa. He was also the youngest pavilion master of the Poseidon Pavilion in Shrek. He had single-handedly destroyed the headquarters of the Holy Ghost religion. His most important deed was to create pagoda to protect soul beasts and prevent them from being hunted. However, the current pagoda seemed to have violated its original intentions. His most glorious deed was to suppress foreign species and save the continent of Dolua. He was hailed as the hero who had saved the continent. Of course, other than his heroic deeds, he was also infamous for being the Eye of Ashura. Once, during the second Soul Master Tournament, Ming Du wanted to hold all the competitors hostage. This action angered Yuhao, and he used the metal materials that he had brought with him to develop the first-class 12-stationary soul cannon shell on the continent of Dolua Doomsday. It destroyed Ming Du at that time. His infamous name, the Eye of the Shura, was deeply ingrained in the hearts of the people of Sun Moon. It was said that Yuhao did not have twin martial souls. He had at least 4 martial souls. One of them even had some of the abilities of an evil soul master. He had the power to control the dead and purify evil. Tang Wulin grew up listening to the stories of Tang San and Yuhao. He yearned to become a powerful soul master like them. Tang Wulin reacted. Oh, it's my turn. It's my turn. An hour later, Tang Wulin walked out dejectedly. How is it, Lin? Tang Ziren asked. Dad, my martial soul is blue silvergrass. Innate class 3 soul power. He dejectedly stretched out his right hand, and a strand of blue silvergrass drilled out. Tang Ziren was stunned. It's fine, Lin, but you have soul power. Do you know how difficult it is for a blue silver grass martial soul to produce soul power? Even if it does, it won't necessarily be class 3. Your blue silver grass is definitely 1 in a million. Tang Wulin cheered up after being comforted. He returned home, ate a bowl of rice, and went to sleep. Late at night, I'm back. The 7-year-old Tang Wulin opened the door and walked in. His long blue hair draped over his back. However, the two noticed that the ends of his hair were dyed with a layer of white. Oh, you're back, Lin Ling, Tang Ziren who was reading the newspaper, and Langya, who was washing the dishes, said, "Where's Wulin?" Tang Wulin asked. "He went to sleep after eating a bowl of rice. His martial soul awakened today, and he suffered a blow. His martial soul is blue silvergrass, and he has innate class 3 soul power," Tang Ziren said with some heartache. Tang Wulin pondered for a moment. "I'll go take a look at Wulin." He entered the room and closed the door. Blue silvergrass. Ah, if it really is blue silvergrass, then it's strange. Tang Wulin slowly turned around and looked at the sleeping Tang Wulin. His body was covered with strange light golden vein patterns that emitted a strange life force and a natural fragrance. A sealed blue-silver emperor. Tang Wulin laughed. "It's the same as Tang San in the past. It's just that his innate soul power is different." He said, "He actually has my God's core sealed in his body. Is this the person you approve of?" A youth's voice rang out, and a palm-sized golden-haired boy suddenly appeared and sat on Tang Wulin's shoulder. "Yes, he is the person I approve of." Tang Wulin said, "I believe in him. He will definitely be able to do it." When Tang Wulin woke up again, he discovered that he was covered with a blanket and that there was a freshly made grilled fish beside him. Did Big Brother come back last night? If only I had Big Brother's golden dragon martial soul. No. Cheer up, Tang Wulin. You have to go to school today. You can't be discouraged. Good. He picked up the grilled fish and took a bite. Delicious, delicious. As expected of Big Brother's grilled fish. After eating, I'll quickly report to school. In the evening, when he walked out of Red Mountain Academy, Tang Wulin's face was filled with unhappiness. Everything he had experienced today was more depressing than anything he had experienced in his life. He grew up in a very ordinary commoner family, but his family was harmonious. His parents had a very good relationship and were especially fond of him. Even when he made a mistake, they would earnestly teach him. But today at the academy, he felt for the first time what was called difficult. Because his martial soul was blue silvergrass, his classmates ostracized him. Even the teacher wasn't enthusiastic about him. In the afternoon, when he was guiding the students in their meditation, the teacher clearly spent the least amount of time with him. Is my martial soul really that bad? The unhappiness on Tang Wulin's face gradually turned into stubbornness. Even if my martial soul isn't good, I will still become a great soul master. Big Brother said that success is 99% hard work and 1% talent. If my martial soul isn't good enough, then I'll work especially hard. According to the legends, Yuhao's innate soul power was even lower than mine, but he relied on his own efforts to become the most monstrous soul master in history. But why am I hungry again? Tang Wulin rubbed his stomach, somewhat puzzled. The school life included lunch, and there was no limit to it. The students of the Soul Master class had better food than the students of the normal class. Tang Wulin ate a lot, to the point that he directly gained the nickname of Rice Bucket. The amount of food he ate was almost equal to half of the total amount of food that the other students ate. It exceeded an adult's appetite. In the past, although his appetite wasn't small, he couldn't eat so much. Moreover, it was only the afternoon, and he was already hungry. When I go back, I must ask Big Brother to make a lot of roasted fish for me. As he walked, a small figure on the side of the road suddenly attracted his attention. A little girl was squatting on the side of the road. She looked even younger than him, but she had a head of short silver hair. When the sun shone on her rare hair color, it naturally reflected the light. As if there was something in the unseen world, the little girl raised her head to look at him. Her face was dirty, and with her somewhat shabby clothes, she looked like a little beggar. However, other than her short silver hair, she also had a pair of eyes that stood out from the rest. Her eyes were very large, and her pupils were like 2 limpid amethysts. Even though there was some distance between them, Tang Wulin seemed to be able to see his own reflection in her eyes. Her long eyelashes naturally curled upwards. Tang Wulin's own eyes were very beautiful, and he naturally had a good impression of people of the same age with big eyes. He subconsciously stopped in his tracks. Their eyes met, and the little girl didn't avoid his gaze. There was only a bit of surprise in her beautiful big eyes. "Little girl, Where are your parents? At this moment, a few hooligan-looking young men were also attracted by the silver hair and gathered around the little girl. The little girl didn't look at them and lowered her head again. The few young men looked at each other, and one of them said, "This silver hair is really rare. Maybe she's a foreign race from the other two continents. I think the underground black market will like her very much. Moreover, her eyes are purple." The other young men's eyes suddenly revealed a greedy look and then nodded to each other. The young man who spoke earlier squatted down. "Hey, little girl, where's your family?" The little girl lowered her head and shook it, but didn't say anything. The young man smiled and said, "Are you hungry? Big brother will take you to eat something delicious. How about it?" The little girl shook her head again, this time with more force. The young man gave a look to his companions, and with one hand, he grabbed the little girl's arm and pulled her up from the ground. The others surrounded them, blocking the outside view. In the little girl's scream, the young man had already carried her on his shoulder. "What are you doing? Let go of that girl." A childish, angry shout rang out, scaring the few young men. When they looked back, they couldn't help but reveal a look of shame and anger. The one who stood up for the injustice was actually a little boy who was not even as tall as their waists, but was very beautiful. The young man behind showed a trace of ruthlessness in his eyes and raised his foot to kick Tang Wuling. "Little brat, you still dare to meddle in other people's business." Tang Wuling was kicked over and fell more than 2 meters away, his face covered in dirt. "You bad people." He rolled on the ground and immediately got up, rushed to the young men, and blocked their way. The young man who was carrying the little girl showed a fierce look on his face. The movement here had attracted the attention of some passers-by. After all, they were on the street. With a flick of his wrist, a glittering dagger appeared in his palm, and he gestured at Tang Wuling. "If you don't want to die, get out of my way." Tang Wuling looked at him stubbornly and said angrily, "Bad people will not have a good ending. Big brother said that if you see a weak person, you must help. The point is that the girl is not weak at all." "Humph, you don't know what's good for you." The young man put down the little girl, and Tang Wuling quickly pulled the silver-haired girl behind him. "Don't worry, I will protect you." The silver-haired girl looked up at Tang Wuling and nodded gently. "Brat, prepare to die." The young man raised the dagger and was about to stab. In the next moment, a blue figure blocked in front of Tang Wuling. The figure's right hand grabbed the dagger and squeezed gently. Crack! The dagger broke. "Get out of my way. Get as far away as possible." The blue eyes stared at the three people's eyes, and the three people suddenly seemed to have been brainwashed, and they really did roll on the ground very far away. "Big brother," Tang Wuling said excitedly. "Wasn't that blue figure Tang Wuling? You brat, you almost worried me to death." Tang Wuling touched Tang Wuling's head and said. Tang Wuling suddenly found that half of his brother's hair had been dyed pure white. "Big brother, your hair, it's nothing. It's just a change after cultivation," Tang Wuling said. "Big brother, this girl is very pitiful. Why don't we take her in?" Tang Wuling looked at Tang Wuling and said. Tang Wuling only noticed the girl now, but in the next moment, his pupils suddenly shrank, and he seemed very shocked. The girl hurriedly turned her head away, not looking at Tang Wuling. Tang Wuling frowned slightly. "Okay, big brother." Tang Wuling didn't notice the change in Tang Wuling's expression. "Well, it depends on whether this one is willing or not." Tang Wuling looked at the silver-haired girl and smiled. The silver-haired girl didn't say anything and just nodded. "That's great," she agreed. "May I ask what's your name?" Tang Wuling said excitedly. "I'm Na, he said softly. "I'm Tang Wuling, and this is my big brother, Tang Wuling," Tang Wuling said. "Gulu gulu," 3 strange sounds sounded. Tang Wuling and Na were very embarrassed. Tang Wuling was a bit confused. "Why am I also hungry? I remember that I just ate a 10,000-year-old deep-sea demon whale at noon. Scary. Okay, you two little hungry ghosts, go home. Big brother will make delicious food for you," Tang Wuling said with a smile. He glanced at the forest behind him, and the corners of his mouth curled up, but he didn't say anything. In the forest, Tion, that person, who is he? He actually discovered us. A girl with dark green hair said. That aura, could it be? Tion's face was full of shock. Tang Wulin and his family. Child, you really like to show off. If it wasn't for your big brother being on the way home, you might have. Lang Yu lectured Tang Wulin and also agreed to let Naer stay. Lang Yu hurriedly took Tang Wulin and Naer to take a bath. Don't think too much. As for dinner, Tang Wulin rolled up his apron, stretched his hands, and an ice-blue knife appeared out of thin air and caught a big, lively fish. It's time to show off my unique skills. When Tang Ziren returned home, he was shocked to find that the three children were like reincarnated hungry ghosts, gnawing on roasted fish, roasted chicken, and roasted pig trotters. After dinner, I'll take Na to see if we can find her family. Tang Wulin pulled Naer out. Tang Wulin was a bit reluctant to let Naer go outside. Speak. Why are you here? Tang Wulin looked at her. Shouldn't I be the one asking that question? Nah. I looked at Tang Wulin. Your aura has changed. I almost couldn't recognize you. Thank you for your praise. Don't tell me you want to invade the human world now. What? You want to stop me? If I remember correctly, you said 20,000 years ago that you wouldn't stop me. Naer said indifferently. I won't stop you. I've lost my cultivation, and I can't even protect myself. How can I stop you? You're the Silver Dragon King, Tang Wulin said with a bitter smile. My cultivation isn't as good as it used to be. I can't even compare to the weakest god. Nah. Her stretched out her right hand and touched Tang Wulin's chest. Are you all right? Your cultivation is slowly recovering. You're already a soul king. However, it seems like you can only use one martial soul. Naer retracted her hand and added the dragon god martial soul. It can also split into twin martial souls, the Golden Dragon King and the Silver Dragon King. That's amazing. It shouldn't be a problem for me to stay here, right? After all, you're the only person I know and trust in the human world. You won't chase me away, right? Naer smiled at Tang Wulin. Tang Wulin's mouth twitched. This girl really dared to say anything. I won't. Stay as you please. I won't charge you any money. As long as you don't mess around, it's fine. Naer smiled. Thank you. With that, she went back to Tang Wulin's house. Tang Wulin looked back at the forest. Your master will stay here for now. Let's go back. With that, he went back. In the forest, what do we do? Tion. It's fine. Let's go back. If it's that person, he won't harm the Lord. The little moth suddenly transformed into a golden-haired youth wearing a hooded pajamas. He held a small notebook in his hand. I've already investigated it thoroughly. I have to say that Pagoda is rotten to the core. 3,000 years ago, they tricked the soul beasts of the Stardow Forest. After the soul beasts were defeated in a huge battle, Pagoda took advantage of the situation and built the Stardow Fortress there. They reached an agreement with the soul beasts that humans wouldn't continue to cut down trees or hunt soul beasts. The soul beasts could only live here. If the soul beasts attacked the humans' defensive line, the humans had the right to kill them. If the humans entered the fortress, the soul beasts could also kill them. It seemed like both sides were equal, but hundreds of years after the fortress was built, it revealed its true appearance, a cage to trap soul beasts. The soul beasts were like cage pets. Pagoda started to sell tickets to enter the fortress at a high price. Those who entered were responsible for their own lives, but there were still many people who came in to hunt for soul rings. At that time, it was too late for the soul beasts to regret their decision. At that time, the soul beasts were no longer a match for the humans. Modern technology made it so that the soul beasts could only bitterly endure. After forming this huge cage, Pagoda didn't force the soul beasts too hard. Humans didn't disturb the soul beasts' lives. They only let people in occasionally. Only a few people who paid a high price were protected by Pagoda. The soul beasts were no longer a threat. Everything was under the control of the humans. Pagoda did this and became the #1 organization on the continent. Their artificial spirit souls were starting to reach the 10,000-year level. A 100,000-year artificial spirit soul was being developed, but the price was exorbitant. Furthermore, there was a spirit ascension platform that simulated the soul beast forest and soul beasts. Killing the simulated soul beasts could increase the rank of the spirit soul, and there was even a possibility of soul bones being born. The elementary spirit ascension platform cost 500,000 Federation coins, and higher prices could even reach tens of millions. Recently, they and the Federation had been researching something called the Star Battlenet. Currently, the Tower Master of Pagoda, East Wind through the ages, was an ambitious person. He wanted Pagoda to follow the example of the martial Soul Palace from 20,000 years ago and unify the entire continent. He wanted to unify the entire continent of Dolua and even 13 Dolua. Pagoda doesn't seem to be on good terms with Shrek and the Tangmen at all. Furthermore, when I was monitoring East Wind through the ages, I discovered that he had some dealings with the holy ghost religion. They seem to be plotting something. Most importantly, the Spirit Pagoda is currently supporting the War Eagle faction, so perhaps a world war is going to erupt soon. Brother Skydream concluded. Glancing at Yuhao, he discovered that Yuhao had lowered his head and his fringe covered his face. Damn bastards! A furious roar rang out. Why has Pagoda fallen to such an extent? Why did they go against the principles I set? These bastards! Tang Wulin punched the ground. At this moment, the entire continent of Dolua began to tremble. The sleeping commoners hurriedly ran out of their rooms. Some experts stood up and said that the tectonic movement had caused a small earthquake on the entire continent, and that it wouldn't pose a threat. Everyone believed them. You actually believe the words of an expert? That's because Yuhao didn't use any force. If he did, then the continent would be doomed. Nar and Tang Wulin were shaken to the point that they fell on a beach. That's strange. Why would a small earthquake happen out of nowhere? Nara remained silent. She sensed an angry youth not too far away. Big brother, let's go back. Nara said. Okay. Tang Wulin pulled Nara away from the beach. Tang Wulin walked out and looked at the sea of stars. Sooner or later, I'll get rid of you, Pagoda. Trash. You dare to go against my rules? It seems like these trash have guts. Hey, Tang Wulin, no. Yuhao was really angry. Chapter 198. 3 years later, Wulin was already 9 years old. Furthermore, under Tang Wulin's guidance, he had gained a lot of knowledge. Now that he was already at the 10th rank, as long as he had a spirit soul, he could become a soul master. In order to buy a spirit soul, he had taken Mang Tian as his master 3 years ago to learn blacksmithing and earn money so that he could buy a spirit soul in the future. Tang Wulin had wanted to buy a spirit soul for Tang Wulin himself, but he gave up in the end. He couldn't let Tang Wulin learn to rely on others all the time. Tang Wulin had always been a good child who didn't rely on others. After 3 years, Tang Wulin had finally saved up 30,000 Federation coins. Tang Wulin didn't know how much money he had now, but it was all stored in his rank 10 Starlight Sapphire ring. Nouveau riche. Tang Wulin originally wanted to give him money to buy a spirit soul, but when he saw Tang Wulin happily counting the money he had earned, he gave up on that idea. He still had to learn how to earn money himself. Wasn't he the same in the past? Night, by the sun, he faced the sea and looked up at the starry sky. Big brother, there are so many stars today. Tang Wulin laughed. That's right. Maybe they're all here to congratulate me on becoming a soul master. Nah. Are you sad because you can't become a soul master? If I leave one day, will you miss me? Nara raised her head, and her beautiful little face seemed even more lively under the light of the moon and stars. Tang Wulin was stunned. Why would you leave? Nara pouted. I'm just saying if. Tang Wulin said, of course I'll miss you. I'll really miss you. I only have you as my younger sister. And you seem to have grown a bit taller. You're almost up to my nose. I'll miss you too. I'll really miss you. Nah, but didn't answer his question. Her large purple eyes seemed to be covered by a layer of mist. Tang Wulin giggled and put his arm around her shoulder. If we're together every day, I won't think about it anymore. Later, I will discuss with Mom and Dad so that we can go to school in the same city. Big brother, you can go to school in the same city as me next year. Big brother will protect you well. Nara didn't say anything. Her purple eyes flashed with a perplexed light, and her head unconsciously leaned against Tang Wulin's shoulder. In the dark, Tang Wulin looked at the two people under the moonlight. The current Tang Wulin was even more beautiful and cute than before. Most of his long hair had turned white and flawless. Only the top of his head was still blue. I really didn't expect that she would actually fall in love with Wulin. Ha ha! Stop pretending, Yuhao. Do you think I don't know? You haven't come into contact with the Silver Dragon King for the past few years because you wanted to create some space for the Silver Dragon King and Tang Wulin so that the Silver Dragon King would fall in love with him. Your calculations are really... I don't know what to say anymore. A small golden moth landed on Hua Yuhao's shoulder and flapped its golden wings. It was Brother Skydream. Yes, Brother Skydream had already woken up. He had woken up 2 years ago. At this moment, a palm-sized golden-haired boy with a pair of golden dragon horns appeared and chased the moth away. Get up. This is my personal seat. Hey. What's your personal seat, Golden Flash? This seat used to belong to me, but I gave it to the Snow Empress. So, this seat clearly belongs to the Snow Empress, okay? Brother Skydream immediately became indignant. Isn't mine now? If I had half of my previous strength, I would be able to crush you. Golden Flash raised his head disdainfully. Oh, little brat, you've got guts. Do you know that the insect race had already dominated the universe for a long time before your dragon god was born? Do you think we're afraid of you dragons? Our reproduction speed is the fastest in the entire universe, and our adaptability is also the strongest in the entire universe. The insect race is the most terrifying race in the universe. If it weren't for the insect extinction era, the entire universe would have been ruled by the insect race. Brother Skydream said proudly. Golden Flash was actually speechless. This was the physical strength of an 8 gates. Who are you afraid of? If you don't like it, just give him a punch and make him submit, Golden Flash said with a smile. Yes. Furthermore, you have a 72 potential amplification. You're so strong that there's nothing I can say about it. Right now, there's really no one in the Dola continent who can hurt you. It had to be said that Brother Skydream had acknowledged Golden Flash's words. No matter how strong my physical body is, it's useless if I can't enter it. That's why I want to quickly recover my cultivation, Tang Wulin said. I don't understand. I just like the thrill of crushing my opponents with pure physical strength, Golden Flash said with his arms crossed. All right, let's go back. I'll accompany Wulin to buy a spirit soul tomorrow. Oh, that's right. Brother Skydream, how's the investigation going? Tang Wulin suddenly became very serious. Early morning. Tang Wulin had woken up especially early today, and even his breakfast was a little smaller than usual. Tang Xiren saw the impatience in his son's eyes and couldn't help but laugh. You're finally not calm? Don't worry, Pagoda isn't open yet if we go early. Dad, what kind of spirit soul do you think I can buy? No matter what, Tang Wulin was only a 9-year-old child. He had worked hard for this day, and now that the day of his harvest had finally arrived, how could he remain calm? Tang Wulin smiled. How would I know? But no matter what spirit soul you get, you'll be able to officially advance from a soul scholar to a one-ringed soul master. That's when you'll be a true soul master. Amen. Tang Wulin nodded excitedly. Stood at the door, watching him leave. Her beautiful eyes revealed a perplexed expression. Are you perplexed? What's wrong with you? Tang Wulin had appeared beside her at some point. Glanced at him, then at Tang Wulin's back. You don't understand. Muttered to herself. Tang Wulin sighed. You and I aren't suited for each other. Give up. Go find your true love. After Tang Wulin finished speaking, he followed after Tang Wulin. Stood in place, staring blankly at Tang Wulin's departing figure. We can only be friends, but not lovers? The spirit master brought Tang Wulin to a metal chair and casually asked, Do you know why we need to test spiritual power? Tang Wulin blankly shook his head. The spirit master said, This is your first time choosing a spirit soul. After fusing with it, you'll become an official soul master. This will also be recorded in Pagoda's records. The strength of your spiritual power is related to what level of spirit soul you can fuse with. You should be able to learn this knowledge in the future when you enter an intermediate soul master academy. Tang Wulin was somewhat astonished. Sir Spirit Master, is spiritual power divided into different levels? Just like soul power? Is spiritual power very important? The Spirit Master said, to ordinary soul masters, spiritual power isn't particularly important. It's also divided into different levels, but it's not as finely divided as soul power. However, to high-level soul masters, the strength of their spiritual power is extremely important. The more powerful a spirit's soul is, the more spiritual power it needs to communicate with it. A long time ago, when there were no spirit souls, there was actually no division of spiritual power. However, 10,000 years ago, our pagoda's first tower master, Lord Yuhao, spoke of the importance of spiritual power after creating spirit souls. The higher one's spiritual power, the more powerful a spirit's soul can be fused with. Furthermore, at that time, Lord Yuhao personally divided spiritual power into different levels. From then on, soul masters gradually realized the importance of spiritual power. The Spirit Master said, at that time, Lord Yuhao divided spiritual power into 8 levels: Spirit Origin Realm, Spirit Connection Realm, Spirit Sea Realm, Spirit Abyss Realm, Spirit Domain Realm, Divine Origin Realm, as well as the legendary Divine Spirit Realm and Divine King Realm that only gods can reach. Later on, people separated the first 6 levels because only the first 6 levels can be reached by humans. The Divine Spirit Realm and Divine King Realm are no longer human realms. Every single one of us is born with a spiritual power at the Spirit Origin Realm. The Spirit Origin Realm referred to the beginning of the first yuan and the renewal of all things. This was the most basic level of spiritual power. You should be at this level. You'll learn more in the future when you enter the academy, so I won't say too much. All right, let me test you to see what level you've reached in the Spirit Origin Realm. Jump. The light emitted by the Spirit Soul Ball turned white. In the center of the Spirit Soul Ball, an even brighter light flashed, and the entire Spirit Soul Ball slowly opened from the center. Seeing the white light appear, the Spirit Master said, 10-year Spirit Soul. Tang Xiren's expression darkened. The heavens didn't care for his son. 100-year Spirit Soul that cost millions wasn't easy to obtain. Tang Wuling silently looked at the 10-year Spirit Soul from aside. Was it really that simple? It was only 10 years. He sensed something that no one else had sensed. Tang Wuling stared at the gradually opening Spirit Soul Ball. A 10-year Spirit Soul. What exactly was his first Spirit Soul? The white light began to recede, and the entire Spirit Soul Ball opened. The Spirit Soul inside finally appeared in front of him. The moment he saw it, the Spirit Master's expression changed slightly. Tang Xiren, Tang Wuling, and Tang Wuling were all stunned. Even Tang Wuling faltered slightly upon hearing this. This Spirit Soul was actually a grass snake? You should give up on this Spirit Soul. Although it was a successful experiment, it's actually a defective product. The Spirit Master said, no, listen to me, Wuling. I'll choose this one. Tang Wuling suddenly said excitedly. Tang Wuling looked at Tang Wuling. Big brother, you. Trust me, you definitely won't regret this. Tang Wuling looked at the little grass snake and said, the other spirit souls aren't worthy of you. Only this one is absolutely compatible with you. Moreover, it's definitely not a simple 10-year spirit soul. Tang Wuling said. The Spirit Master was somewhat baffled. He was certain that this spirit soul was a defective product. So why did this child say that it wasn't simple? He looked at Tang Wuling and suddenly discovered that he couldn't see through this child's soul power. He could sense a trace of this child's soul power fluctuations, but he couldn't see through it. There was only one possibility. This child's soul power was higher than his. At home, Tang Wuling looked at the little grass snake lying on his hand. Tears still flowed down. To the side, Tang Wuling and looked at the crying Tang Wuling. Big brother, don't cry. Na threw herself at him and hugged his head. Tang Wulin choked with sobs. Why? Why is the heavens so unfair to me? Why can't I get a chance even though I've worked so hard? I want to become a soul master. I want to become a powerful soul master. Wulin, keep your spirits up. You're really lucky. Tang Wulin looked at the little grass snake and said. Tang Wulin raised his head. He was somewhat puzzled. What do you mean? Big brother, a five-clawed golden dragon. I never thought that this little guy would have the bloodline of an emperor. Although it's only a trace, it's indeed the bloodline of a golden dragon. Big brother, what's a five-clawed golden dragon? Tang Wulin was full of doubts. A five-clawed golden dragon is a race of dragons. They have mystical powers. They are divided into ranks by the number of fingers on their claws. They are divided into two-clawed golden dragons, three-clawed golden dragons, four-clawed golden dragons, and five-clawed golden dragons. A five-clawed golden dragon is the emperor of the golden dragon race. Wulin, do you know? A five-clawed golden dragon symbolizes supremacy. Even among dragons, it's definitely in existence on the level of a dragon king. I never thought that such a powerful little guy would be abandoned by those ignorant pagoda. Tang Wulin said as he stroked the little grass snake's round head. He didn't know why, but the little grass snake seemed to be very close to Tang Wulin. Five-clawed golden dragon. Five-clawed golden dragon. So you're actually this powerful? Tang Wulin said as he stroked the little grass snake. The little grass snake straightened its body, tilted its head, and spat out its tongue as if it was very proud. Indeed, Tang Wulin could sense that it was different from the rest. Normally, a 10-year spirit soul wouldn't have any intelligence, but this little grass snake was different. It seemed to be able to understand their conversation and was even able to act like a human. Little guy, since it's like this, I'll take care of you in the future. Tang Wulin sat down cross-legged and began to fuse with the little grass snake. The fusion was skipped. Rank 13? Very good. The compression cultivation from before worked. Tang Wulin said as he looked at Tang Wulin, who was sitting cross-legged. A white soul ring with a trace of green surrounded him. Strands of blue-silver grass swayed without wind. A special white soul ring, white with a trace of green. Tang Wulin muttered as he looked at the white soul ring. With his eyesight, he was able to see what no one else had noticed. He grabbed another strand of blue-silver grass, weighed it in his hand, and pulled. In the end, the blue-silver grass broke. However, Tang Wulin was very shocked. He had used the strength of a Soul King to pull it apart. In other words, Soul Masters below the Soul King level wouldn't be able to pull apart Tang Wulin's blue-silver grass without using a soul skill. Very good. Wulin, it seems like your blue-silver grass is mutating, and it's mutating in a good direction. Tang Wulin said with a smile. As expected, the heavens didn't abandon me. Tang Wulin said with some fatigue. Wulin, you must always remember that when the heavens close a door for you, they will also open a window for you. Tang Wulin said with a smile. Following that, he took out a blue pendant with a sparkling sapphire hanging from it. This is a protective talisman. It will save you from danger 5 times. Tang Wulin finished speaking and personally put it on him. Big brother. Tang Wulin seemed to have sensed something. Tang Wulin smiled and patted his head. Big brother will wait for you at Shrek. Tang Wulin was stunned. Big brother, are you leaving? His eyes began to fill with tears. I'm just going to school. It's just that it's a little far away. Don't worry, Big brother will definitely come and see you during the holidays. Tang Wulin patted Tang Wulin's head again. Big brother, don't lie to me. You must come and see me. Also, you must bring a lot of delicious food to see me. Tang Wulin said as he wiped his tears. Okay. Definitely. Tang Wulin said with a smile. Nah, or looked at Tang Wulin with some reluctance. She wanted to say something, but she couldn't say it. The next day, Tang Wulin watched as Tang Wulin boarded the soul train. Big brother, you must keep your promise. You must come and see me when you have time, he said as he waved at the platform. Tang Wulin's back was facing him as he waved at him. Tang Wulin watched the soul train until it disappeared into the distance. Only then did he slowly walk home with his father. However, at home, he was waiting for another bad news. What? Nah, she also left? Tang Wulin said in a daze. Yes, she left this and left. Lang Yu took out a piece of paper and a colorful pendant. Dad, Mom, Big Brother Ling, I'm leaving. I want to thank all of you for taking care of me these past few years. However, I remember who I am. My family is coming to pick me up. I can only leave. I was very, very happy when I was with all of you. I also can't bear to part with all of you. However, my gradually recovering memories tell me that I have to leave this place. I have a lot of things to do. Big Brother, I will always remember how you looked when you blocked those bad guys for me. I will always remember the taste of the delicious food you bought for me. I will always remember Big Brother Ling's roasted fish. Nah, we'll miss all of you. Nah. Tang Wulin was completely stunned. When his brother left, he held back his tears. Now that Nah had left, he cried, Big Brother, Nah, wah wah wah. He rushed out of the room and shouted desperately for his brother, and Nah leaned against a tree. Big Brother, Yuhao. Tears flowed down her face. Master, let's go. Let's go. Our first goal is to sneak into Pagoda. Chapter 199. Shrek Academy, Spirit Ice Plaza. Because it was class time, the plaza was empty. There was only a middle-aged man cleaning the place. That middle-aged man suddenly saw an extremely cute little loli doing something beside the pool. Tang Wulin sat beside the pool and looked at the Shrek Academy that had changed too much. Sigh. Shrek's improvement is really fast. I believe that in another 10,000 years, it might even be built high up in the sky. Tang Wulin crossed his legs. The middle-aged man in the distance was very puzzled. Why would such a young child come to Shrek Academy? Also, how'd he get in? Tang Wulin suddenly stood up. Good. Let me see how many experts Shrek Academy has now. The spiritual power of the divine origin realm suddenly expanded. But in the next moment, another wave of spiritual power of the divine origin realm actually blocked his detection. Tang Wulin staggered and almost fell off the stage. He steadied himself, and the corners of his mouth curled up. Not bad. It was actually such a powerful junior. In the next moment, more than 20 powerful auras flew towards him from the direction of the inner court. Oh, they're all super dolo. And the leader is actually a demigod? Hee, amazing. Tang Wulin crossed his arms in front of his chest and said with gratification. In the next moment, more than 20 figures surrounded Spirit Ice Plaza. They all had an unusual combination of soul rings around them. Even the lowest soul ring was purple. As for the three people in the lead, their soul rings were even more terrifying. The three of them were a handsome young man, a beautiful woman, and an old woman. The handsome young man's soul rings were actually 4 black and 5 red. There was an additional spear in his hand. Isn't this a little too monstrous? Sam Shao didn't say what his soul ring combination was. The beautiful woman beside him had a pair of light green angel wings on her back, and 6 black and 3 red soul rings. The old woman's soul ring combination was 7 black and 2 red. They all focused their gazes on Tang Wulin. The middle-aged man, who was sweeping the floor in the distance, was shocked. Should I go back and report this to the vice sect master? Good, let's do that. He disappeared in the blink of an eye. Tang Wulin glanced at the 20 or so powerful beings that had completely surrounded her, leaving her with no path of retreat. It seemed that this space was locked by a barrier. I'm the pavilion master of Poseidon Pavilion, Yunming. Who are you? The leading young man looked at Tang Wulin with a very serious and solemn gaze. Tang Wulin was silent for a while before she struck a very cute pose. I'm just a little kid who got lost. Rain, you can't let Wudong and the rest know. In the spiritual world, Brother Skydream clutched his stomach and rolled on the ground as he laughed maniacally. Jin Shan tried his best to cover his mouth, but his face had turned red. Yuhao was actually acting cute. A lost child actually got lost and ended up at Shrek Academy. A lost child actually has spiritual power at the divine origin realm. How can a lost child like you be able to walk so freely in the face of so many powerful beings? Yin Ming pointed his spear at Tang Wuling as he spoke. Tang Wuling stopped acting cute and shrugged his shoulders. Hey, I almost forgot about that. Tang Wuling became very serious. I'm here to study. After I awakened my martial soul, that weird spirit master uncle gave me a recommendation letter. He said that he was recommending me to study at Shrek Academy. Tang Wuling took out the recommendation letter and threw it out like a flying knife. Tongmin's hidden weapon technique? Yin Ming was shocked. He caught the recommendation letter flying towards him between his index and middle fingers. However, a small wound was left on his index finger in the next moment. Guanin's tears. This long-lost hidden weapon technique is actually... Yin Ming looked at the 10-year-old Tang Wuling in shock. Can I study now? Tang Wuling asked with his arms crossed. We don't know your background. Letting a dangerous child like you stay at Shrek Academy is a very unwise choice. However, I'll make an exception for you. If you can survive one round of our combined attacks, you can come to Shrek Academy to study. Furthermore, I'll give you the identity of a member of Poseidon Pavilion. Yin Ming said. Everyone was shocked. What's wrong with the Pavilion Master? Oh, is this considered a test? Can I survive one round of your attacks? What if I defeat all of you? An ice blue halberd appeared in Tang Wuling's hand at some point. There were ice blue dragon patterns on the halberd handle. Ice dragon halberd. Yin Ming's pupils shrank. Even the girl and the old woman beside him were shocked. The super Doloal were in disbelief. They knew what the ice dragon halberd represented, just like how they knew that the Poseidon trident represented the Poseidon Tang San. The ice dragon halberd represented you. Could it be that you're... Yin Ming was astonished. Tang Wuling smiled. It's good that you know. Now, do you still want to test me? If it were an ordinary person, they would have to take a test to enter Shrek Academy. However, you can forget about it. Yin Ming and the others withdrew their martial souls and soul rings. In the next moment, he knelt on one knee. Yin Ming, the 1,500th generation. Who cares how many generations he is? Poseidon Pavilion's Pavilion Master greets Ling Bing. Everyone was shocked. Yin Ming actually knelt in front of this child. Wait, what did the Pavilion Master just say? Ling Bing? One had to know that no one dared to inherit this title, because it was the title of that hero. Get up. How can a man kneel just like that? An invisible force pulled Yin Ming up. It can't be. It's really that person? Everyone was speechless. Your Majesty, didn't you already? Yin Ming wanted to say something. Tang Wuling didn't say anything. He only raised his head and slowly said, something happened in the realm of the gods. Then, Your Majesty, what do you plan to... I'll be staying at Shrek Academy temporarily. You won't mind, right? Tang Wuling smiled. Of course not. Welcome back, Your Majesty, Shrek. Everyone said in unison. The golden tree, Tang Wuling sat at the highest point. This place is awesome, Tang Wuling said as she stretched lazily. Teacher, are you here? Tang Wuling said. At this moment, an illusory figure appeared from the golden tree. It was an old man. It was Elder Mu. He had a very high status in history because he was Yuhao's teacher. Therefore, many people called him the hero's teacher. Are you, Yuhao? Yes, teacher. I'm here to see you. Tang Wuling directly knelt on the tree branch. Child, there's no need. I'm curious. Didn't you already go to the realm of the gods? Teacher, the realm of the gods has been greatly damaged. It's already destroyed. Tang Wuling didn't hide anything. What? 3 shocked voices sounded. One of them was Elder Mu, and the other 2. Tang Wuling shook his head and looked in a direction. Come out. Since you're here, there's no need to hide. Yin Ming appeared in front of Tang Wuling with his wife, Yari. Sorry, Your Majesty Spirit Ice, Your Majesty Dragon God. We didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. The 2 said apologetically. It's fine. It's fine if you heard. But don't spread it. Do you hear me? Tang Wuling said very seriously. Yes, sir. The 2 said. All right, that's enough. Yin Ming, is there any fun place in the Doloa continent now? Tang Wuling said with a smile. Fun place? Yes. I haven't been back to the Dolawa continent for a long time. Of course, I have to have fun. Tang Wulin's eyes lit up and began to act cute again. If you want to talk about fun places, there is one. Yin Ming said. Oh, where? Tang Wulin suddenly said with a little interest. The Devil Islands. It's in the North Sea. It's under the jurisdiction of the North Sea military. However, the North Sea military has no jurisdiction over the Devil Islands. It's not a place where humans can live. The Devil Islands? Tang Wulin thought for a moment. It can't be, right? It can't be. Poseidon Island, right? Poseidon Island? Your Majesty, are you saying that it's the real Poseidon Island? Yin Ming said in shock. Tang Wulin smiled. Let me go take a look first. Just as he was about to leave, he suddenly stopped. All right, you should pay attention to Pagoda now. They're plotting something. With that, he left the Shrek Academy. Chapter 200. Boom! A terrifying aura erupted from the North Sea military. The soldiers fell to the ground, their bodies covered in wounds. A major stood up in a sorry state. He looked at the petite white figure in the distance and shouted in horror, Demon, who told you to capture me when you found out that I was a student of the Shrek Academy? But it turns out that you're trash from the Sun Moon Soul Engineering Academy. The petite figure said indifferently. It was a white-haired youth who was only 10 years old. Her pretty and adorable little face was so adorable that it could explode. He suspected that the soldiers were actually trying to molest him. I'm just here to borrow a plane. You didn't even lend it to me. You want to capture me? I'm not a pushover. The youth walked toward the plane. Is this a soul plane? He boarded the plane. Ready. 3, 2, 1, take off. The youth piloted the plane. Damn, why is it falling backwards? Wait, let me adjust. Okay, it'll definitely work. Take off. The plane began to fly forward in the sky. The plane was spinning in a beautiful arc. Wow. This is so exciting. I've never flown it before. Tang Wulin shouted. The soldiers below were all stunned. Is he sure he's never flown it before? Why does it feel like he's even more professional than a professional pilot? Major, should we report this to Lieutenant Colonel Shinyu? A lieutenant asked the major respectfully. Report? What do we have to report? Do we have to report that our heavily guarded North Sea Legion was breached by a child who isn't even 10 years old? Do we have to report that he stole the experimental Dragon Eagle? Listen to me. Gather the professional Air Force and Mecha Army. That child is still a child. He doesn't know how to fly a plane. His piloting skills are just child's play. There's a large group of unidentified objects approaching. Tang Wulin saw that the radar showed many unidentified objects approaching his plane. Hey, all right, I'll play with you. Boom! An aerial battle seemed to have broken out in the sky above the North Sea. Planes were destroyed one after another, and there were also mecha wreckages. However, there were no casualties. When the plane was destroyed, the pilots were not idiots. They took the initiative to jump out of the plane. As for the mecha operators, they were all soul masters. When their mechas were destroyed, they quickly abandoned their mechas. The soldiers on the ground were all shocked. It couldn't be, right? How could it not be caught? Major, is this what you meant by playing house? A captain asked in a sarcastic tone. The major's face turned red. Who is that demon? He was about to go crazy. Lieutenant Colonel Shinyu is here. A sergeant said. A beautiful woman draped in her military uniform walked over. Beside her was a young girl who looked very much like her. She was her younger sister, Shunxing. He was currently a staff sergeant. Tell me, what's going on? Shinyu asked calmly. A bunch of F***ers. So many soldiers, but they couldn't even catch a child? Do you still deserve to be soldiers? Shinyu said coldly. You are their superior, right? A voice resounded in the sky. Shinyu was stunned. Voice transmission from 1,000 miles away. What kind of ability was this? Don't insult your subordinates. It's not that they're useless. It's just that I'm too powerful. Even the commander of your federation wouldn't be a match for me, let alone them. The young man's voice was very arrogant. You sure talk big, Shinyu said. At this moment, a massive screen appeared in the air. A mental projection? How is that possible? Only a being at the spirit domain realm or above can do something like that. Shun Yu exclaimed in an astonished manner. An extremely beautiful and adorable white-haired Shota appeared on the screen. His long aho was swaying wildly. In the next instant, Shun Yu faltered slightly. Something in her heart had been touched. So adorable. I'm not talking big. I'm telling the truth, the young man said with a smile. Shun Yu's brows furrowed slightly. Who are you? Me? My name is Tang Wulin. I'm a member of Shrek's Poseidon Pavilion, and I'm just here to have some fun. Don't worry, I'm only borrowing your plane, and I'll return it to you in the future. In the next instant, the mental projection disappeared. However, a camera had already appeared in Shun Yu's hand, and after developing the photo, she appraised the little guy in the photo. A faint smile appeared on her face. This little guy really is a little devil. Lieutenant Colonel Shun Yu, what do we do? Some of the people looked at her and awaited her orders. Shun Yu took a deep breath. Let's all disperse. I'll report this to my superiors. Shun Yu appraised the photo again. Should she report this to her superiors or not? On an inky black island. A plane was parked on the island. A white-haired young man stood on the plane and surveyed his surroundings. What a terrible environment. There's no spiritual energy of heaven and earth here, which means that I can't even recover my soul power here. He mused in an indifferent voice. However, it didn't matter whether he had soul power or not. Even without soul power, he could still cause small earthquakes with a single punch. So who was he afraid of? On top of that, why would there be destruction, life forms, and those abhorrent sins? Tang Wulin's brows furrowed as he made his way into the forest, where a streak of purple light attracted his attention. Tang Wulin walked into the black forest, and at this moment, a terrifying destructive force pounced on him. However, it was like an ant trying to shake a tree. When the destructive force attacked him, it instantly dissipated. Tang Wulin's body was a body that had opened 8 gates and 72 potential. No matter how strong this destructive force was, it couldn't destroy his body. This was because when one reached this level of physique, it was truly an immortal and indestructible body. He arrived at a ruin. There were collapsed stone pillars here, and in the middle of it, there was a very strange, huge purple or destruction. Tang Wulin was slightly surprised. I didn't expect that someone could come in by themselves. Why is a little girl? 7 different voices rang out. The next moment, 6 old men and a woman appeared in front of him. A spiritual body? Or a divine soul? Tang Wulin was slightly stunned. Little girl, this is not a place you should be. Hurry up and leave, the only woman said. Do you think she's an ordinary little girl? If she's ordinary, why would she be here? An old man said. Oh, in other words, she's not an ordinary person. A chubby old man said. He continued. Come, little girl, I'll treat you to something delicious. He picked up a worm and an earthworm and said. Tang Wulin pursed his lips. I'm a boy, he said coldly. He took it, ignoring the old man's shock, and ate it in one bite. He didn't even frown. It's quite delicious. It's just that it's too raw, Tang Wulin said calmly. Amazing. I, the devourer old demon, am impressed, the chubby old man said. In the next moment, one of the old men suddenly attacked Tang Wulin like a black whip. Yes, it hit Tang Wulin's right arm. However, it was useless. It can't be, right? He's immune to my attack? The old man who attacked was shocked. Nightmare. You're not that good either. The other old men mocked him. However, Tang Wulin's expression became very unpleasant. A pitch-black chain with a hook appeared and hooked onto the nightmare who attacked him. What? What is this thing? It can hook me? He couldn't believe it. The other old men were shocked and looked at Tang Wulin. What are you trying to do? You should be dead, right? However, you've left behind a soul body, and you've become much stronger than before, Tang Wulin said calmly. The 7 old men were shocked. This is the soul hook, used to hook souls. It's the nemesis of souls, Tang Wulin said. What? The 7 old men were shocked. Who are you? I'm the one who wants to ask you. Who are you? Hurry up and tell me your name. Otherwise, my soul hook will hook you to hell, Tang Wulin said. Stop, 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 stop. We know what you're doing. We're the Shrek 7 from 1,000 years ago, and we were sent here by the Academy to investigate. However, we all died to the power of destruction and became what we are now. I'm their boss, Old Demon Greed. These are Old Demon Desire, Old Demon Gluttony, Old Demon Abomination, Old Demon Destruction, and Old Demon Sloth. The one you've hooked onto is Old Demon Nightmare. He only wants to test you and has no intention of harming you. Every once in a while, the Academy will send a few students here to be trained. We are the teachers who train the students. Tang Wulin withdrew the soul hook upon hearing this. So that's how it is. The 7 original sin gods. What? The 7 old men were perplexed. You know about the 7 original sins, right? The 7 old men nodded. You've all been chosen by the 7 original sin gods, Tang Wulin said calmly. Greed, lust, gluttony, envy, arrogance, sloth, and wrath. The 7 of you just so happen to correspond to the 7 original sins, Tang Wulin said. The 7 old men glanced at one another. May I ask who you are, senior? They could tell that he was definitely not a child. How should I put this? There are many names for me on the continent. The hero of the continent, the youngest extreme Delois in history, and so on. However, I prefer to be called Lingbing Delois, or the god of emotions, Tang Wulin said. You're the god of emotions who saved the continent of Delois 10,000 years ago, Yuhao. The 7 old men were astonished. That's right, Tang Wulin replied in an indifferent voice. But why? You clearly ascended 10,000 years ago, and the god realm no longer exists. I'm still alive, Tang Wulin said with a hint of sorrow in his voice. The 7 old men didn't say anything. Then why are you here, senior? To play, of course, Tang Wulin replied with a peculiar smile. How about we play a game of catching ghosts? You'll be ghosts. Come to think of it, there were ghosts to begin with after that. Tang Wulin spent half a year playing on the Demon Islands. The souls of these old men were on the verge of dissipating. Thankfully, Tang Wulin didn't treat them unfairly. He told them many stories about the divine realm and helped them maintain their souls. During this time, Tang Wulin came into contact with the power of destruction on 10 occasions to refine his body. After that, he triggered the life, tied himself to refine his own constitution and make it even more powerful. Even though he couldn't improve any further on this day. I'm leaving now, old men. I'll miss you. I'll be back, Tang Wulin said as he waved a hand at the 7 old men. Please don't come back. Old Demon Nightmare murmured. Oh, I heard you. You're welcome to come back at any time, senior. Hee, that's the spirit. Okay, goodbye. Tang Wulin departed. After that, the 7 old demons were finally relieved. Good heavens, he's finally gone. We've been tormented by him. Tang Wulin prepared to fly the soul plane back, but he discovered that there was no natural energy here, so there was no soul power here. This meant that the soul plane was basically useless here. F***CK. Tang Wulin cursed in an enraged manner. He picked up the plane and left in an enraged manner. Domineering aura. He arrived in front of the North Sea Legion. The first thing he did was to fix the flaws in the Dragonhawk. He was a Class 12 soul engineer, so this was a piece of cake for him, and he was quite satisfied with the repairs. Stealthily sneaking in, activate simulation and mental interference. No one will be able to detect me. I quietly put down the Dragon Eagle. Thus, he departed. I didn't think that life in the military would be so good. Should I become an officer or a chief staff officer in the future? Forget it. I'll think about it later. He left in silence. On this day, Commander Shun Yu had come to the North Sea Legion in person to inspect the Dragonhawk and the armory. However, she was suddenly stunned when she saw a plane. Dragonwing 1. Didn't that little demon steal it? She carefully inspected the plane and discovered that all of the flaws in the Dragonhawk 1 had been fixed. Could it be that the little demon had returned? She recalled what the little demon had said in the past. I'll return it to you in the future. He was clearly going to return it after it was fixed. Shinyu shook her head with a smile. She could imagine the little demon wiping his sweat as he repaired the Dragonhawk 1. You're overthinking things. He's not even sweating. But I still have to thank you. I remember that your name is Tang Wulin, right? Chapter 201. In an infirmary, Xie Sun was lying on the bed. His face had regained its color, but there were no signs of him waking up. Big brother, is Xie Sun okay? Tang Wulin asked worriedly. After taking the earth-returning spring pill, he can't die even if he wants to. Maybe he's too tired, or maybe... Tang Wulin carefully sensed Xie Sun's condition. That's strange, hey? Do any of you know Xie Sun's identity? Tang Wulin asked. He's from a Mecha clan in the East Sea. He could be considered a young master. Wu Zhongkong said. Tang Wulin and Guyu nodded. I'm talking about his true identity, Tang Wulin said. The three of them were stunned. Could it be that he was hiding something from them? Forget it. There's no point in telling you. He probably doesn't even know his own identity. Tang Wulin looked at the unconscious Xie Sun. Light Dragon Dagger. Shadow Dragon Dagger. It's just a key to unlocking the seal. Tang Wulin said. Tang Wulin and Wu Zhongkong didn't understand what he was saying, but Guyu seemed to understand. She looked at Xie Sun in shock. One day later, at the snack bar, to celebrate my discharge from the hospital, and to celebrate the establishment of Class 0. Xie Sun stood up from his chair and took a bite of beef. All right, sit down and eat. Look at you. Tang Wulin pushed him back into the chair. Tang Wulin quietly ate the beef. To be honest, the beef was delicious. Hee hee. Thank you, big brother Ling. For now on, you're my big brother. Xie Sun looked at Tang Wulin and said, Why is it big brother? Guyu asked, Because my big brother is Wulin, and Dance Spirit is my big brother's older brother. So he's my big brother's big brother. Xie Sun said matter-of-factly. Fine. I admire you. Guyu said indifferently and took a bite of the meat. Hey, when do you think we could get our own battle armor? Xie suddenly asked. On the other hand, Tang Wulin's face was full of yearning. Battle armor? Tang Wulin was stunned. Speaking of battle armor, Ling Luo seemed to be showing signs of awakening. By the way, who was the original inventor of this battle armor? Tang Wulin asked curiously. According to some ancient records, it seems to be that person from 10,000 years ago. Xie Sun's eyes flashed with admiration. Fine. He's actually a fan of mine. Tang Wulin thought to himself as he slapped his forehead. So it's him. He's really amazing. No wonder he's called a hero by everyone on the continent. Tang Wulin said with yearning. When can I become as strong as him? Tang Wulin wiped the sweat off his forehead. Guyu covered her mouth and laughed. Big brother, are you hot? Why are you sweating so much? Guyu, what are you laughing about? Tang Wulin looked at the two in confusion. Nothing. I'm fine. Tang Wulin stood up and looked at Guyu. Guyu, come with me. Guyu stood up and followed Tang Wulin. Hey, Wulin, I feel like your big brother knows your wife. Xie Sun said with a mischievous smile. Scram, do you want to get beaten up? Tang Wulin's golden dragon claw appeared. Xie Sun immediately covered his mouth. On the coast of the East Sea, the sea sparkled under the moonlight. Under the moonlight, the two of them sat on the beach. What's the matter? Guyu asked calmly. Purpose. What's your purpose in getting close to Wulin? Tang Wulin asked even though he already knew the answer. Don't you already know? Guyu was silent for a while before she bit her lip. I bet that you can't do it. Not now, not in the future. Tang Wulin said as he looked at the stars in the night sky. You're really confident in me. Do you believe me or the prophecy of your Eye of Destiny? Guyu smiled. Guyu, I'll only tell you one thing. Wulin isn't human. He's the child of God. Now that the first God's realm has been destroyed, he's the hope of the new first God's realm. Tang Wulin looked at Guyu very seriously as he spoke. Guyu was stunned. No matter how she guessed, she couldn't have guessed that this would be the answer. Does that mean that he's the child of God? Or that he's the child of God who inherited the Golden Dragon King's legacy? Guyu said in shock. Tang Wulin nodded. Do you know how important Wulin is now? I'll protect him at all costs. If anything happens to Wulin, I really don't know what I'll do. If I kill him, you'll... Before Guyu could finish speaking, Tang Wulin had already spoken. I hope that day doesn't come, Tang Wulin said. After he said this, the two of them fell into a long silence. Go back quickly. Help me tell Wulin that I'll be waiting for him in Shrek. After Tang Wulin finished speaking, he flew into the sky for the first time and disappeared before her eyes. Guyu stood up silently. If something happens to Wulin, will you really kill me? She muttered to the sky. Chapter 202 Shrek Academy. Ever since Tang Wulin had returned, Nar would drag him out to play other than going to class. Well, it had to be said that when the two of them went out together, they blinded the group of single people. If you two are together, then be together. Why do you have to show off? Are you doing it on purpose? Furthermore, she's the dragon spear goddess of our Shrek Academy. Who's that cute boy with her? Looks like they've misunderstood. You and I don't have that kind of relationship, Tang Wulin said with a wry smile. I'm just pretending. There's so many annoying guys confessing to me all day. I'm so annoyed. So please, big brother Ling, Nodder said with a hint of pleading. All right, just this once. Oh yeah. Thank you, big brother Ling. Tang Wulin shook his head. There's someone looking for trouble so soon. Look, there's a large group of people in front. The leader is a bald youth in his 20s. He's actually more than 2 meters tall. Tang Wulin wanted to kill him. Don't stand in front of me. I'll beat you up if I see you. Hey, little brat, do you know who's standing next to you? The burly youth glared at Tang Wulin angrily. Who cares about you? Tang Wulin didn't want to talk to him. He pulled Nar away. Stop. Good. You dare to defy my big brother Lu? The youth said angrily. Brothers. Tell him, who are we? The lackeys behind him stood up together. We are the Dragon Spear Goddess's Flower Protection Squad, also known as the Dragon Protection Squad. Everyone made strange poses. Hee, you actually have a Dragon Protection Squad? Tang Wulin looked at Nodder with a smile that wasn't a smile. Nara laughed. Ignore them, big brother Ling. They're all annoying people. Big brother Ling. The burly youth and his lackeys were instantly petrified. Their goddess actually smiled at a cute boy and even called him Big Brother Ling. So intimate. They had never seen Nodder smile before, so when Nodder smiled like this, they were really mesmerized. Too beautiful. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to be conquered. I'll protect this smile. That brat, get away from our goddess. The goddess belonged to everyone. It's not yours, you brat. A group of hooligans rushed over. Tang Wulin shook his head and let go of Nar's hand. Wait a moment. I'll deal with them immediately. Tang Wulin calmly stretched his body. However, just as he was about to make a move, a pure female voice rang out. There's no need to trouble Master to deal with these dregs. Tang Wulin was slightly taken aback, and so was everyone else, including Nar. They all heard it. Unbeknownst to everyone, there was a woman standing behind Tang Wulin and Nar. She was an extremely beautiful woman who appeared to be around 20 years old. She had a head of light blue hair that reached all the way down to her waist, and her deep blue eyes only reflected Tang Wulin's figure. She was wearing a light blue bodysuit that matched her hair perfectly, and she was wearing blue earphones. If not was an immature young goddess, then she was a mature goddess. Furthermore, she had a unique charm that was very attractive. She slowly made her way over to Tang Wulin and said, Leave these pieces of trash to me. Master, rest well. Oh, another goddess. Hello, goddess. I'm Lurinjia. Ignore him, goddess. I'm Pao Huei. Scram. In the next moment, countless metal elements began to gather in her hands. An energy-gathering soul cannon was aimed at them. Gathering energy, complete, firing. Boom. A large group of people lay in a large crater, their bodies covered in charcoal. The woman waved her hand, and the energy-gathering soul cannon disappeared as if it had never existed. She half knelt in front of Tang Wulin and said, The dregs have been cleaned up. I await Master's instructions. You're Ling Luo. Tang Wulin was in disbelief. Yes, you guessed right, Master, the woman said with a smile. Wait a minute. Brother Ling, you still haven't introduced me to this person. Nair felt a sense of danger and threat from this woman. The woman smiled at Nair and said, "Nice to meet you. I'm Ling Luo, Silver, Dragon, King." Nair suddenly trembled. This woman is really dangerous. Chapter 203. For years, Shrek Academy. On the shore of the sea god's lake, a white-haired youth was lying on a large tree. His long white hair fluttered in the breeze from the lake, and Tang Wuling, who was already 14 years old, had already transcended worldly beauty. If one wasn't familiar with him, they would definitely think that he was a girl, and such a beautiful girl at that. Today is the Shrek Academy's birthday party. You should be here already, right? Wuling. Tang Wuling jumped down from the tree branch. A group of inner courtyard disciples passing by saw Tang Wuling and immediately became very respectful. Their eyes were filled with worship and adoration. Hey, it's fine if it's a girl, but why are there guys too? Tang Wuling ridiculed them in his heart. Greetings, senior, the female and male disciples said together. Greetings, all of you. Tang Wuling greeted them with a smile. Senior smiled at me. The female infatuated girl said. Get off. Senior was obviously smiling at me. The female infatuated girl said. No way. Senior was definitely smiling at me. A male infatuated girl suddenly jumped out and said, Get lost. Tang Wuling silently walked away. Hey. It's good to be young. Ha. Our family's little Hao is too amazing. He actually attracted so many girls and boys. Brother Skydream's voice sounded. Damn Skydream, get off. You're blocking my view. My little ice. How can you treat your husband like this? Scram. Ice, you can just beat someone like Skydream up. Another arrogant voice sounded. Snow Empress, you can't trick me like this. Little White thinks that you deserve to be beaten. Yeah, I think so too. I don't like you from the start. Octagon and Niece has a word for you. Despicable. I hate the insect race. Wait, Golden Flash, my little ice is also from the insect race. I'm referring to the insect race like you. Don't hit my face. In these 4 years, Tang Wuling's spiritual world had become so lively. Other than the Dragon Kings, the Qilin, and the 9-tailed scorpion, the other 7 spirit souls had already awakened. Tang Wuling smiled. Finally, he was not so lonely anymore. All right, let's not bully Brother Skydream anymore. He's quite pitiful. Tang Wuling advised everyone. My cute and beautiful little sister Yuhao is still the best to me. Forget it. Pretend I didn't say anything. You guys continue. Remember, hit him hard. Hey. No. Yuhao, come back quickly. I was wrong. Stop. Then where should he hit? You cannot hit there. Shrek's freshman assessment, Elder Kai snorted. Guyu is arrogant and domineering. Because of his own actions, it affected the entire team. Although he was quite talented. However, he did not look at the big picture. He was impulsive and unreasonable. I don't recommend you to enroll in the school. Gu's comprehensive evaluation gives you a score of 1 point. His total score was 59 points. 1 point? Only 1 point was given to Guyu. Guyu abruptly raised her head and bit her lower lip with her pearly white teeth. She looked at Elder Kai, her body trembling slightly. The white-haired old man said in a deep voice, Tang Wuling, Xie Sun, Su Xiaoyan, the 3 of you have been accepted by the Academy. Tang Wuling, you will take the 5th test in a moment. Guyu, your total score was 59 points. You may return. This result stunned Tang Wuling, Xie Sun, and Su Xiaoyan. Guyu clenched her fists, but she still stood there with a stubborn and proud expression. At that moment, a hand firmly grasped her shoulder. Guyu turned her head and saw Tang Wuling's resolute gaze. Then, her body, her eyes, and her trembling. They were all blocked by his body. I refuse to accept this. Why do you refuse to accept this? Tang Wuling said in a clear voice. Elders, may I ask if the Shrek Academy is fair? Elder Kai sneered. In this world, there is no such thing as absolute fairness. If you want fairness, be strong. Don't rely on others to give you fairness. Only you can bring fairness to yourself. The prerequisite is that you are strong enough to suppress fairness. Tang Wulin was stunned. He didn't expect Elder Kai to give him such a reply. He nodded to Elder Kai and bowed slightly. Thank you for your guidance. Tang Wulin has learned a lot. Since that is the case, I have nothing else to say. Elders, I give up my qualification to enter the Shrek Academy. One day, when I have the ability to obtain fairness, I will return. After saying this, he turned to look at Xie Xie and Su Xiaoyan, who were about to rush over impulsively, and sternly said, Don't come over here. This is a matter between me and Guyu. It has nothing to do with you. You guys stay here and cultivate well. Xie Sun smiled warmly. He shoved his hands into his pockets, as if he hadn't heard Tang Wulin at all. He walked up to him. My talent is only above average. I'm sure the Shrek Academy doesn't think much of me. Captain, are you going to abandon me? That's impossible. When you avenged me and killed that dusk gold Dreadclaw bear, I swore in my heart that I would follow you for the rest of my life. Only by following you can I become stronger. You're right. We'll return when we have the opportunity to obtain fairness. With that, he walked up to Tang Wulin and placed his hand on his shoulder. I didn't want to become a soul master in the first place. My elders forced me. The pressure here is too great. I'm not used to it. Let's go back. At some point, Su Xiaoyan had caught up to them. She spoke as if she were narrating an ordinary matter. You. Tang Wulin didn't know what to say. He turned to Shunyi. Teacher Shun, I'm sorry. I'm afraid we don't have the qualifications to become members of the Shrek Academy. This used to be my dream, but now it's shattered. May I ask where Teacher Wu is? At that moment, the white-haired elder spoke with a gloomy expression. Good. You're all ghouls. As expected, you're taught by a ghoul. You're all good. Scram, scram. His words stunned the four who were about to leave. Shun-Yi whispered, This is Senior Brother Wu's and my teacher. He's also your Grandmaster. Hurry up and pay your respects. Grandmaster? Teacher Wu's teacher? Tang Wulin's heart skipped a beat. He reached behind him and pulled on Guyu's clothes. Then, he took the lead and bowed respectfully to Zhuoshi. Tang Wulin pays his respects to Grandmaster. Xie Sun and Su Xiaoyan hurriedly followed suit. Guyu also bowed under Tang Wulin's tug. Zhuoshi's expression improved slightly. He coldly said, Do you think you're amazing? You're willing to give up everything for your companions. Idiots. You're all idiots. What's your goal in coming here? To show your stubbornness? To show your pride? Don't you know how to work hard? Do you only know how to resist? Don't you even know how to beg? Is this what Wu Zhongkong taught you? Indeed, like teacher, like disciple. You're all just a bunch of ghouls. Then you're also a ghoul. Old man Zhua. Don't forget that you're the one who taught Wu Zhongkong. A youth's voice rang out. As soon as this voice rang out, everyone fell silent. Tang Wulin's expression was one of shock. Elder Zhua, Elder Kai, and another old man wore helpless expressions. That person actually came. A white-haired youth slowly walked over. Big brother? Tang Wulin exclaimed in shock. He hadn't expected Tang Wulin to come. But when he called him Big Brother, the three old men were truly frightened. Big brother? What kind of joke is this? They were well aware of this person's true origins. Logically speaking, this person shouldn't have a younger brother. No, to be exact, he did have a younger brother, but he had become a god with him 10,000 years ago. Why would he call him Big Brother? Old man Zhua, what kind of grandmaster are you? Your disciple's disciple is about to be driven away, yet you're still doing nothing? You really are an incompetent grandmaster. Your grand disciple is about to be driven away by Headmaster Kai, yet you're still doing nothing? If you're afraid of her, just say so. Tang Wulin mocked Zhuoshi. In the entire Shrek Academy, the number of people who dared speak to him in such a manner could be counted on one hand. Tang Wulin was one of them. You think I'm afraid of her? Zhuoshi blurted out. Enough. You don't have to leave. Just follow this old man. Have you forgotten why we gave Tang Wulin an additional test? Headmaster Kai said coldly. Zhuoshi's eyes lit up. He turned to Tang Wulin and said, That's right. An additional test. Tang Wulin, you've gotten full marks in all 7 of the tests. Shrek has a rule. If a student can get full marks in all the tests, they can make a reasonable request to the academy. If you can make up for your points, you'll get full marks. It's not like you can't give that girl extra marks. Tang Wuling looked at Zhuo, then at Elder Kai. But my fourth test. Elder Kai said, I'll give you full marks in the fourth test. If you can get full marks in the fifth test as well, then you'll definitely get full marks in the final test. So, what you need to do now is to take the fifth test. Are you confident in your chances? Zhuo asked. Tang Wuling said without hesitation, I'm confident I can get full marks. Elder Kai snorted. Brat, don't be so sure. Do you know what it takes to get full marks? Tang Wuling said, Please enlighten me, Elder Kai. Elder Kai said, Unless your second profession reaches the 5th rank, there's no way you can get full marks. Zhuo and Shun Yi's eyes widened. Since when did the 5th test require a 5th rank second profession? Tang Wuling was dumbfounded. What did the 5th rank mean for blacksmiths? This meant spirit refinement. However, he hadn't reached that level yet, even though he had been at level 4 for a long time. He had also reached the peak of the 4th rank, but without sufficient soul force, it was impossible for him to reach the 5th rank. He was silent for a moment. You must have confidence in yourself. Zhuo narrowed his eyes and asked, I can give it a try. What's your second profession? Tang Wuling asked. Tang Wuling looked at Tang Wuling and nodded to Elder Kai. I can give it a try. Forging. Tang Wuling answered in a deep voice. Come. Zhuo angrily transmitted his voice to Kai Mei. Why did you ask him to complete the test for no reason? Wouldn't level 3 be full marks? Do you think he's a prodigy? When have you ever heard of a 13-year-old 5th level professional? Isn't there one right here? Kai Mei pointed at Tang Wuling. 10,000 years ago, the legendary 12-year-old genius who was a Class 6 soul engineer created hand grenades that weren't meant for soul masters at the age of 15, created the earliest battle armor, prototype mechas, and Class 12 stationary soul cannon shells at the age of 16. Kai Mei quickly recounted a bunch of Tang Wuling's heroic deeds. He's a prodigy, not a prodigy, Zhuo said angrily. Haven't you realized that he's not worried at all? Kai Mei asked. Zhuo was stunned. He glanced at Tang Wuling. Indeed, he's smiling. Is he that confident in his younger brother? Reality proved that the prodigy's younger brother was indeed a prodigy. Tang Wuling succeeded. A 13-year-old 5th rank grandmaster. This was enough to go down in history. Tang Wuling fainted as he had expended too much of his blood essence and soul power. Tang Wuling caught him immediately. He's indeed my younger brother, Tang Wuling said. Now, you guys have nothing to say, right? They've all passed. Tang Wuling said as he looked at the 3 examiners. Let's just say that they've passed, Kai Mei said. Since he's already spoken, what else can I say? Ha 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 ha. Great. You're indeed my grand disciple. Zhuo laughed. Tang Wuling slowly carried Tang Wuling on his back. Xie Sun, Guyu, the 2 of you go to old Zhuo first. You're their new teammate, right? Tang Wuling asked Su Xiaoyan. Yes. Hello, Senior. I'm Su Xiaoyan. I've heard our captain mention you before, Su Xiaoyan said to Tang Wuling. I didn't expect our captain's older brother to be so beautiful. Su Xiaoyan, your martial soul is the Star Staff? Tang Wuling asked. Su Xiaoyan was shocked. Yes. How did you know? Tang Wuling shook his head. It seems like you're a descendant of the Su family. Has the Star Crown already declined? He muttered to himself. Anyway, you should come with us, Tang Wuling said to her. She carried Tang Wuling on her back and left. Captain was right. What a strange older brother. Chapter 204. In the dead of night. Although it was already nighttime, the pagoda's guards were still patrolling with full attention. A fly was just about to fly in when a chirp sounded. A soul ray shot the pitiful fly to death. Damn it! Are you trying to scare me? It's just a fly. Why did you have to use a soul tool gun? Garby said. Hey, brother, don't forget our mission. Don't let any flies in. Garde put away his soul tool gun. AI, being a guard is really tiring. I really want to rest. Do you think you're the only one who wants to? I want to too. At this moment, a few more pagoda's guards walked out. Hey, brothers, it's time to change shifts. The two guards, third and fourth, walked out from inside and said, Oh, they're finally here. I can finally rest for a while. Guard A and B shouted. Sa, who is it? There's movement. Everyone, be careful. Everyone was on their guard. They saw the bushes moving. Who's there? Let's go. Let's go take a look. Those people walked over together. Just as they left, a figure appeared in their position. He glanced at the four guards who had walked into the bushes. I wish you all a good night's sleep. With that, he entered the pagoda. As for the four guards, they were already lying in the grass. On their bodies, there was a strange butterfly. At this moment, a golden-winged moth flew over. Brothers Dream Butterfly, the mission is complete. You can leave now. The golden-winged moth suddenly spoke in human language. Got it. Call us if you need anything, Brother Skydream. The butterflies actually spoke in human language. They flew into the sky and disappeared under the starry night sky. Hee. Mission complete. Yuhao, it's up to you now. The golden-winged moth said. Inside the pagoda, there were many murals that recorded many ancient events. The staff members were busy walking around. They could be said to be researching without rest. They all walked towards laboratory number 1. Looking at the current situation, 2 staff members carrying coffee were walking towards laboratory number 1. Strange? A staff member suddenly said. What's wrong? What happened? Another staff member asked. Did you feel cold just now? He asked. No. Did you catch a cold? The staff member touched his forehead and his own. It's not burning. Maybe it's just an illusion. As they drank their coffee, they arrived at the door of laboratory number 1. The door was actually a high-class secret door. Please tell us the secret. Long live the first Tower Master. The secret is correct. Please come in. The two of them walked into Lab 1. At the place where they were standing just now, an illusory figure began to appear. At the same time, the surrounding surveillance cameras automatically shut down. In the control room, what's going on? Why are there a few surveillance videos that don't show anything? Tang Wulin calmly arrived at laboratory number 1. His appearance was changing, and in an instant, he had turned into a beautiful woman. Please tell us the password. Long live the first Tower Master. Tang Wulin's face was a little uncomfortable when he said it himself. Damn it, I'm a first Tower Master. I feel like I'm very narcissistic when I say it out loud. The secret is correct. Please come in. The door opened, and in the next moment, an infuriating scene was revealed in front of Yuhao. A 3-meter-long azure storm wolf was chained to a large operating table by the soul ceiling chains. However, storm wolves usually had light green fur, but this one seemed to be very unhealthy. Its fur was pale white, and from its size, this storm wolf was probably a 10,000-year soul beast. The storm wolf's eyes were filled with fear and anger. Don't move, be obedient. I just need a little blood. The staff members all had huge syringes in their hands. For the future of humanity, you have to contribute some blood. This time, we will definitely be able to create a 10,000-year spirit soul. The staff members said expectantly. It was as if they were fantasizing about the appearance of a 10,000-year spirit soul. Oh. The storm wolf howled and opened its bloody mouth to bite someone. But in the next moment, the black collar on its neck suddenly released an electric current. Oh, a sorrowful cry sounded. Why bother? As long as we succeed, we will let you go. Why do you have to do this? One of the staff members said indifferently. Why are you talking so much nonsense with it? It's just a pervert. It won't understand, no matter how much you say. Hey, you guys. A voice frightened them. They turned around and saw a woman. Deputy Tower Master. Deputy Tower Master, why are you here? They said respectfully. You guys can go back. Let's put aside the matter of creating a 10,000-year spirit soul first. Tang Wulin said indifferently. Everyone was stunned. Didn't you hear my order? This is the Tower Master's order. Understood. Everyone packed up and went out. Only Tang Wulin was left behind. He looked at the storm wolf and walked towards it. The aura on his body automatically changed into the aura of a soul beast, but only spread to a range of 3 meters. What a pitiful child. He slowly approached the storm wolf. Because the storm wolf felt the aura of its own kind, it didn't resist. Tang Wuling slowly stroked its fur. His hand emitted a dark green light. The storm wolf felt its injuries and spirit quickly recovering. The storm wolf stuck out its tongue and licked his hand. Good child, I'll bring you out now. Tang Wuling grabbed the soul sealing chain and pinched it lightly. Crack! It broke. The collar on its neck was also removed with Tang Wuling's help. After it was released, it kept rubbing against Tang Wuling's body. Come in first. Tang Wuling opened his third eye, and the storm wolf entered it in the blink of an eye. He took a deep breath and slowly walked out of the first laboratory. But in the next moment, he was stunned. The real pagoda's deputy tower master, Lung Yaozhu, and a group of workers had surrounded him. Who are you? Why are you pretending to be me? Lung Yaozhu looked at Tang Wuling coldly. This was because Tang Wuling still looked like her. More importantly, she couldn't see through his disguise. Huh? Disguise? Who knows if you're impersonating me or if I'm impersonating you? Tang Wuling chuckled coldly. What a joke. Of course it's you. Lung Yaozhu said, if I wasn't on duty today, I wouldn't have met these people who are about to go back. Tang Wuling disdainfully curled his lips. How can you prove the real deal? I know everything about pagoda. Isn't that enough? Lung Yaozhu said, everything? Good. Let me test you. When Ling Bing Dao created pagoda, he said something. What did he say? Tang Wuling said coldly. Lung Yaozhu was stunned for a moment. She didn't know why this imposter would say something like that. But she really did know. Today, the number of people who knew about Hui Yuhao's words couldn't be less. That was, humans and soul beasts live in harmony. Lung Yaozhu said word by word. But when she said it out loud, the soil had a sense of shame. Tang Wuling was stunned for a moment. Ha! Good. Very good. I can't believe that someone still remembers that. Seeing as you said that, I'll spare all of you. Tang Wuling slowly disappeared from everyone's line of sight. He's gone, Lung Yaozhu said in shock. She didn't even feel the slightest fluctuation of soul power. It was simple. He used the power of space-time. At the top of pagoda, in the Tower Master's office. How are the preparations for that plan going? East Wind through the ages muttered to himself. It's still in preparation. In less than 10 years, Shrek will become history. An indistinguishable male or female voice sounded. Although I support your plan, once it's done, you'd better draw a line between us. Don't let anyone suspect me. East Wind through the ages said. Ha ha, of course not. Happy cooperation. Sir Tower Master. Happy cooperation. They didn't see a pair of eyes looking at them in the dark before disappearing. Did you feel someone looking at us just now? East Wind through the ages asked. Yeah, I think I had the same feeling just now. But it was probably just an illusion, right? Two people at the same time. Huh. Given our strength, who else can hide? Don't forget, this is pagoda. Who can sneak in? East Wind through the ages was stunned. Yaozhu is here. The voice didn't sound again. East Wind through the ages. Lung Yaozhu kicked open the door and walked in domineeringly. What's the matter, Yaozhu? East Wind through the ages asked. Huh. Yes. It's a big matter. That 10,000-year-old Azure Storm Wolf has been rescued. Lung Yaozhu said disdainfully. She didn't like East Wind through the ages. He was a bastard. Pagoda's decay was related to him as its leader. What did you say? East Wind through the ages' expression changed and stood up. Why didn't you sense the intruder? East Wind through the ages asked coldly. How could I sense it if you can't even sense it with your spiritual power at the divine origin realm? Lung Yaozhu said, unwilling to be outdone. I don't care. I've already told you. Deal with it yourself. I'm going back to rest. Lung Yaozhu flung her long hair and turned to leave. East Wind through the ages tried his best to calm down. Pagoda was actually invaded, and their hope of creating a 10,000-year-old spirit soul was stolen. That was a special 10,000-year-old spirit beast. It had the strange ability of fortune and disaster. Ha ha. The heavily guarded pagoda has been invaded. Ha ha ha. If this gets out, you might not be able to keep your position. Ha 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 ha. The voice sounded again. Shut up. East whined through the ages' aura began to go berserk. The surrounding space trembled. Huh? Are you angry? Don't worry. It's just a 10,000-year-old spirit beast. You can just go to the Stardow Forest and catch another one. East whined through the ages said. How unusual is it? It has the ability to control fortune and disaster. What do you think? What did you say? How can such a spirit beast exist? 10 kilometers away from Pagoda, Tang Wulin stroked the storm wolf. It was much better now. It kept rubbing against Tang Wulin's body. No wonder. You're not a normal spirit beast, Tang Wulin said with a smile. Oh woo. The ash wolf howled in a low voice. Ha! Good boy. You're free now. I'll bring you home. Tang Wulin stroked its head. The storm wolf nodded obediently. Tang Wulin smiled and glanced coldly at the pagoda in the distance. East wind through the ages. What a good name. See how I'll make you a sinner in the future. Great Stardow Forest. The forest was surrounded by huge metal cannons. The Great Stardow Forest had become a place where humans reared spirit beasts. Those who wanted to enter had to pay a huge sum of money. Once they entered, they were responsible for their own lives. At this moment, a figure ignored the metal cannons and went straight through. Wasn't that Tang Wulin? He was carrying a little wolf in his arms. He slowly put down. We're home, little guy, Tang Wulin said. When the little wolf landed, it quickly grew to 3 meters. It looked at Tang Wulin gratefully and kept rubbing against him. It slowly nuzzled its head against Tang Wulin's forehead. In the next moment, Tang Wulin's third eye automatically opened. The wolf also had a third eye on its head. After a moment, the wolf's third eye slowly closed. The wolf howled as if to express its gratitude. Then, it disappeared into the forest at an extremely fast speed. Tang Wulin slowly touched its forehead. It seemed like it had been blessed by that little guy. The star beast greedy wolf's blessing. Ha ha. Tang Wulin laughed. He looked into the depths of the forest. I'm back. Great Stardow Forest. The slaughtering grounds. The lake of life was not as big as it used to be. It seemed like it could collapse at any time. A green crystal could be seen at the bottom of the lake. That was a huge piece of life gold. There were 7 people standing beside the lake. In the middle was a tall, middle-aged man in a black robe. The man's long black hair reached his ankles, and there was a strand of golden hair on his forehead. There was a pair of black dragon horns on his head. He was the leader of the 10 great savage beasts, the beast god. Beside him stood a lady with long jade-green hair. She had a pair of jade-green wings on her back. She exuded a strong life force. A lady with long purple hair stood on the other side of Tion. She also had a pair of dragon horns on her forehead. However, they were purple. There was also a bald middle-aged man and a red-haired brawny man. There was also a skinny man and a young man. Needless to say, they were the 7 great savage beasts of the Stardow Forest. The Lake of Life can't hold on for much longer. Tion said slowly. There was a tinge of worry in his voice. Master, why aren't you moving? Bear Lord asked. Do you think humans are so easy to deal with? Myriad Demon King said coldly. Bear Lord twitched his mouth. Master has his own plans. Let's wait for the news. Tion said. The Lake of Life has already dried up to this extent. A young man's voice was heard. The 7 savage beasts immediately became alert. The auras of the 7 savage beasts rushed towards the source of the voice. However, the auras of the 7 savage beasts dissipated in an instant. I haven't been back for so long. Is this how you treat me? A white-haired young man walked over slowly. He was Tang Wulin. It's you? Tion and the savage beasts were shocked. Roar. You brat. How do you come back? Bear Lord was the first to rush out. He extended his right hand, and the dark golden terror claw appeared. He slapped it towards him. Tion was stunned. Stop, Bear Lord. You're just... Before he could finish his sentence. Bam! Bear Lord's dark golden terror claw had already slapped Tang Wulin. However, it was useless. Tang Wulin didn't even take a step back. I can't hurt him. However, Bear Lord had no intention of giving up. He continued to use his dusk gold dread claws to scratch Tang Wuling's body with all his might in an attempt to inflict a wound, but he couldn't even tear her clothes, let alone inflict a wound. You brat, you brat, you brat. How dare you come back? It's all because of you. It's all because you created Pagoda. You caused us to fall to this state. Enough, Bear Lord. Don't you know? If Yuhao didn't create Pagoda, will we still be alive? Vicky shouted at Bear Lord. However, the Spirit Pagoda has imprisoned us in this place. We're like pets who have lost their freedom, Bear Lord said angrily. That has nothing to do with Yuhao. Yuhao used to live in harmony between humans and soul beasts. However, Pagoda has started to violate his principles. Therefore, this isn't Yuhao's fault. It's those humans' fault. Mo Long said, I'm sorry. I didn't expect them to violate my principles. I didn't set the rules properly. Now Pagoda has a bunch of rotten trash that dares to violate my principles. Tang Wuling said with some self-blame. Don't blame yourself. We don't blame you. Di Tian patted his shoulder. Bear Lord pursed his lips and didn't say anything. If he continued to cause trouble, he would incur public anger. That's right. We don't blame you at all. Demon Spirit said. Who are you? Tang Wuling was greeted by an unfamiliar face. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that we didn't meet 10,000 years ago. I'm Demon Spirit, the last Demon Spirit. Oh, hello, Demon Spirit. Tang Wuling greeted him. What kind of soul beast is a demon spirit? Or is a demon spirit just a demon spirit? Tang Wuling looked at the lake of life and said, I'm here to atone for my sins. Atone for your sins? The 7 savage beasts were stunned. Tang Wuling slowly flew towards the center of the lake of life until he was above the huge life gold. If the lake of life was the foundation of the Stardow forest, then this huge life gold was the foundation of the lake of life. Once the lake of life dried up, this life gold would also disappear. In that case, the Stardow forest might really become history. Tang Wuling slowly sliced open a wound on his right hand, and drop after drop of divine blood essence dripped down from his hand. Tang Wuling's face instantly turned very pale. His body swayed slightly, and he fell. In the next moment, Di Tian had already caught him. Are you crazy? You're actually using divine blood to stimulate the life gold. Di Tian said with a hint of anger in his voice. It's just a few drops of divine blood. It's not a big deal. Tang Wuling forced a smile. Not a big deal? You call this not a big deal? Di Tian really didn't know what to say to him. However, following this, buzz, 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 the life gold started to release a brilliant jade green light. Under everyone's astonished gazes, the lake of life started to expand again and again. After 30 breaths, the lake of life had already returned to how it was 10,000 years ago. Not only that, the soul beasts realized that this strong life force had already exceeded the total life force of 10,000 years ago. Furthermore, some of the surrounding trees started to grow rapidly. Some of the areas that had been destroyed by humans started to sprout plants. Gradually, the Stardow forest life force was restored. If not for the metal walls, these plants might have already grown out. The savage beasts and the soul beasts that were still alive in the Stardow forest suddenly felt their life force rising. In the blink of an eye, their lifespans had increased by 10,000 years. The savage beasts didn't know what to say anymore. Somewhere in the great Stardow forest. I have become 100,000-year soul beast? Ashwolf was a little stunned as he spoke. He was originally a 90,000-year soul beast. However, he had suddenly become a 100,000-year soul beast. This surprise was too. I've heard from some soul beasts that a 100,000-year soul beast has 2 choices. One is to continue cultivating and become a strong savage beast. The other is to transform. However, I've heard that soul beasts who transform are easily discovered by bad people. However, I shouldn't be able to discover them with my powers of fortune and calamity. Ashwolf muttered to himself. Following this, an enchanting figure flashed across his mind. I've decided. I'm going to go out and repay him. I swear on the greedy wolf Star's guardian beast, the greedy wolf. I must repay him. In the end, he chose to transform. His body started to shine. Following this, an extremely perfect and alluring body started to appear. This atonement? Is everyone satisfied? Tang Wuling stood up in a feeble manner. He looked at the 7 savage beasts. You're very weak now. Stay here for a few days. The Bear Lord was the first to speak. Huh. Even the Bear Lord wanted him to stay. What about the others? Of course. Welcome home, Yuhao. The 7 savage beasts welcomed Yuhao's return together. Chapter 205. Tang Wuling gradually entered a state of deep meditation. His soul power resonated with his blood essence, and the scales on his body flickered with light. After breaking the 4th seal, his strength would undoubtedly rise to another level. He was feeling the changes in himself. He was even stronger than before. 2 Golden Dragon King, Wuling and Golden Flash. No problem. Should I include Yuhao as well? This is rare. What a rare sight, Tang Wuling murmured. He's the one who inherited my legacy, the 2nd Golden Dragon King. Looks like I'll have to step down. A cute little boy with golden hair the size of a palm sat on Tang Wuling's shoulder unhappily. Don't be so unhappy. After all, the older the ginger, the spicier it is. Wuling won't go with you. He's still too young. Tang Wuling patted his head. Are you saying that I'm old? Golden Flash looked at Tang Wuling unhappily. Oh, yes. Don't deny it, because it's a fact. You're really old. Tang Wuling smiled faintly. Huh, I'm old. I think my age is less than 1,000,000th of your age in your eyes. Golden Flash said with his arms crossed. Ha. Tang Wuling laughed awkwardly. What are you talking about? Oh, are you guys talking about who's older? Age and whatnot. Don't many people hate to talk about their age? Why are you guys? The voices of the 7 spirits' souls sounded. A small golden-winged moth appeared. After it appeared, 6 more figures appeared. There was a 10-centimeter-long dark green scorpion and a 3-year-old white-haired girl with snowflakes floating around her. Suddenly, an octagonal ice flower appeared on the ground. There was a little mermaid, an ice blue bear, and a big purple eye. Hey, the 7 of you shut up. Can't you see that I'm talking about life with Yuhao? Golden Flash stood on Tang Wuling's shoulder. She put her hands on her hips. Huh, little fellow, you're extremely weak right now. What do you do to us? Brother Skydream mocked. Stinking bug, once I recover my strength, I'll definitely crush you. I'll keep you company, Brother Skydream said, unwilling to be outdone. Skydream, call me when you're fighting. The big-eyed evil emperor said coldly. What? As a descendant of the Cyclops clan of the Eye Beasts, do you want to fight me? Let alone the evil emperor. Even we want to fight you. The Snow Empress said. Oh, interesting. When I recover, I'll naturally fight with you. They started to quarrel again. However, Tang Wuling really liked this kind of noisy atmosphere. After all, he wouldn't feel lonely like this. Oh, Tang Wuling suddenly moved. F***CK. He's about to wake up. Everyone run. The 7 spirit souls instantly disappeared without a trace. TSK. What a bunch of mobs. You want to gang up on me like this? Golden Flash shrugged. It disappeared from Tang Wuling's shoulder. Tang Wuling opened his eyes. I think I heard a lot of people quarreling just now. Brother, did you hear that? No. Tang Wuling shrugged. Oh, is that so? Seems like I'm hallucinating. Tang Wuling thought to himself. Sorry, I had to lie to you. Tang Wuling thought to himself. At this moment, F***CK. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. An angry roar came from outside the door. What's going on? Tang Wuling was stunned. I asked Yuhao to guard outside. Something must have happened. Tang Wuling said. Let's go out and take a look. The 2 of them hurriedly rushed out to find Yun and Yuhao chasing after the disheveled Xie, who was still dripping wet. Yuhao, Xie-sun, what are you doing? Tang Wuling and Tang Wuling shouted at the same time. Yuan and Yuhao and Xie-sun shouted at the same time. Store manager. Be boss. After some explanation, Ha ha ha. So that's what happened. Yehue, he didn't do it on purpose. Just forgive him. Tang Wu said with a smile. Yeah, Yuanin, I'll just forge a spirit medal for you for free. Tang Wulin tried to persuade Yuan and Yehue. Yuan and Yehue snorted at Tang Wulin. Oomph. What do you know? Is my chastity only worth a piece of spirit metal? You're a homosexual with a brother complex. You won't understand my difficulties. What do you mean by homosexual with a brother complex? What do you mean? Tang Wulin frowned. Tang Wulin was also struck by lightning. What the hell was going on? Yuan and Yehue was stunned. He told me. She pointed at Xie Sun. Xie Sun, please explain. Tang Wulin's face darkened. He clenched his fists so hard that they cracked. Oh. Tang Wulin narrowed his eyes and smiled. My brother's innocence has been ruined by you. What do you think we should do? Wait. I was wrong. Boss. Ah. Tang Wulin tossed the bruised Xie Sun to Yuan and Yehue. All right, we've had enough. Yuan, take care of him. Yuan and Yehue and Xie Sun looked into each other's eyes. That can you not hit my face? Xie Sun said as he covered his bruised face. Yuan and Yehue suddenly raised his right hand and clenched it tightly. Xie Sun closed his eyes. He didn't dodge. Instead, he frowned and prepared to endure her anger. When he opened his eyes again, what he saw was a figure running back to the dormitory and the sparkling and translucent teardrops flying in the air. Xie Sun's figure flashed, and he stretched out his hand to catch a teardrop. His heart ached for no reason. She really is a girl. She's shy, and she feels wronged, Tang Wulin said calmly. Boss. Xie Sun looked at Tang Wulin and Tang Wulin. Don't look at me. I can't help you, Tang Wulin said bitterly. If you want her to forgive you, I have a way. But it depends on whether you can persevere, Tang Wulin said. Please enlighten me, boss. Xie Sun bowed to Tang Wulin. Tang Wulin whispered in Xie Sun's ear. Follow your heart and confess to her shamelessly. If she agrees, then you'll go all the way. You'll kiss her and push her down. If she refuses, say a lot of heartfelt words to coax her. Will that work? Trust me, boss. It won't be a problem. Tang Wulin patted his chest. That's your big brother's experience. Oh, then I'll trust you this time. Boss, I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time. Were you once a womanizer? Get out. Yuan, I washed your clothes and hung them in the yard. You can put them away later, Xie Sun said tentatively. There was no response from the room. After a moment of silence, Xie Sun said, Yuan and Captain went out to eat, so we're the only ones left in the dormitory. I want to tell you something from my heart. Is that okay? Get out. Yuan and Yehue's deep voice came from inside the room. Xie Sun raised his hand and pinched his cheek to test the thickness of his skin. Oh, then I'll tell you. The first time I saw your body, I was really shocked. I didn't get a good look, and I was beaten up pretty badly. But I know that you're a good girl, and you care a lot about this. So I clean for you every day. I help you wipe the windows and sweep the floor. I didn't know what else I could do for you, so I could only do what I could. In the dormitory, Yuan and Yehue stood up angrily when she heard Xie Sun's shameless words. But when she heard the rest of his words, she couldn't help but stand there in a daze. Later, I started to get used to it. It was as if I felt uncomfortable if I didn't clean for you every day. To be honest, I don't regret what I did. If I hadn't accidentally peeked at you, I wouldn't have known that you were a girl. You're so beautiful. It was my biggest loss that I couldn't see you. It was worth it to be beaten up. Later on, I gradually realized that I wasn't used to cleaning for you every day, but to being able to see you every day. If I couldn't see you one day, I would feel disappointed. This time was the same. I originally planned to cultivate at home for a while and give everyone a surprise when I came back. But I found that I couldn't stay at home, and I really wanted to come back to the academy. I thought it through just now. It wasn't because the academy was more suitable for cultivation, but because you were here. I'm sorry. I just saw you again. But I really didn't do it on purpose. Also, I really only saw you once. Although, compared to last time, I seem to have seen it more clearly this time, but I really only saw it for a split second. Yuan and Yehue roared angrily in the room. UF***. Xie Sun coughed and continued, I saw something I shouldn't have, but as a man, I have a sense of responsibility. So I decided to take responsibility for you. Yuan, marry me. Be my wife, okay? The room fell silent. After a while, Yuan and Yehue suddenly opened the door and said, I'll help you get out. The Titan giant ape martial soul possessed him. Ah! Xia's sun flew out like a shooting star. Yuan and Yehue withdrew her martial soul. Idiot, she whispered, then turned around and went back into the room. If her face could be seen, she would be blushing. In the dark, Big Brother, does this count as a success? Tang Wulin asked Tang Wulin. The initial stage is complete. Now that Xie Sun has successfully entered Yuan and Yehue's heart, the next step is to expand his position in Yuan and Yehue's heart. But he can only rely on himself, Tang Wulin said. Big Brother, that, Tang Wulin said awkwardly. Don't tell me you're going to ask me how to enter Guyu's heart? Tang Wulin teased. Tang Wulin blushed and could only nod. You've already succeeded, Tang Wulin said. What? Tang Wulin was stunned. She's always liked you. She just didn't dare to admit it, Tang Wulin said calmly. Why? She once told me that she got close to me because of our bloodline. Because her martial soul is the rainbow dragon. Ha ha! Rainbow dragon? No. Her martial soul is the same as yours. It's the other half of the dragon god, the legendary elemental controller, the Silver Dragon King. Tang Wulin said. What? Tang Wulin couldn't believe it. You and her are a real couple. You'll have to resolve your relationship with her yourself. Tang Wulin left after he finished speaking. Deal with it myself, Tang Wulin murmured. Chapter 206. After Tang Wulin lectured Wulin, he naturally had to return to the inner court. However, when he passed by Spirit Ice Plaza, he discovered that Xie Sun was being tortured badly by an uncle. Hall Master of the Nimble Hall? Forget it. Let him temper Xie Sun. When he truly awakens, he will be able to display his true strength. Tang Wulin said indifferently. Beep, beep, beep. Tang Wulin's soul guidance phone rang. Hello? Who is it? Tang Wulin answered the phone. Brother Ling, where are you? We haven't seen each other for almost 2 years. You didn't even bring me along when you went out to play. A delicate voice rang out. Tang Wulin was a little helpless. He didn't need a guess to know who it was. Nah, I didn't go out to play recently. I was doing something important. Tang Wulin said. What is it? I revived the foundation of your Stardow Forest, the Lake of Life. Tang Wulin said. There was silence on the other side. Thank you, Brother Ling. Finally, a sincere thank you came from the other side. No need to thank me. The Stardow Forest is also my home. Tang Wulin said with a smile. Oh, all right. You haven't been to the outer court for a long time, right? It's been almost 3 years. Do you want to come to Poseidon Lake to take a look? There's someone you won't expect. Tang Wulin laughed. Oh, I'll go in a while. Nar said, someone you won't expect? Who is it? Tang Wulin hung up the phone and dialed Tang Wulin's number. Hello, Wulin. What's wrong? Brother, what's the matter? You can't keep cooped up in your room. Do you want to go to Poseidon Lake to take a look? Maybe we'll see something incredible. Since Big Brother said so, I'll go. Tang Wulin hung up, and a faint smile suddenly appeared on her face. Don't blame me. It's been so long. It's time for you to meet each other, Tang Wulin said with a smile. He held his head and swaggered away. Poseidon Lakeside, Tang Wulin and a silver-haired girl looked at each other, and both of them trembled. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. The girl suddenly screamed, and before Tang Wulin had a chance to react, she had already thrown herself into his arms like a young swallow. It was not. Tang Wulin's heart trembled. Never in his wildest dreams would he have imagined that this extremely familiar and beautiful young woman was actually Na-er. Brother, is it really you? Is it really you? Na excitedly jumped up and down. Yes, it's me, Na-er. At this moment, Tang Wulin was even more excited than her. At this moment, both of them simultaneously thought of what Tang Wulin had told them about seeing. So this was what he was referring to. The two of them chatted for an entire day. Wulin understood that Er's martial soul was very special. It could not be awakened at the age of 6, but at the age of 8. Furthermore, it was rank 20 the moment it was awakened. Gugu. Both of their stomachs growled at the same time. Huh, let's go. Brother will bring you to eat something delicious. Tang Wulin held Er's hand. And Wulin brought to a teppanyaki restaurant and found that Sun and Yuan and Yehue were also there. Sun naturally asked who was, and Wulin told him that she was his sister, but not his biological sister. Sun looked at Tang Wulin meaningfully and even patted Tang Wulin and gave him a thumbs up. This made Tang Wulin a little uncomfortable. What was the meaning of this? Smiled at Tang Wulin as she ate. Big brother, your appetite is still as astonishing as ever. Tang Wulin laughed mischievously. You should eat some more too. If I remember correctly, you can eat a lot too. Amen. Replied. She had already finished 2 skewers of squid. She reached out and grabbed 2 more skewers. Boss, I'll have 50 more squid skewers, 50 more chicken skewers, 50 more mutton skewers, and Tang Wulin had not eaten with in a long time, and his appetite was already astonishing. Now that he was in a good mood, his appetite increased even more. He ordered another pile of food. Yuan and Yehue and Sun's appetites were relatively normal, and the two of them were quickly full. Then, they watched Tang Wulin and eat there. It had to be said that the two of them were really shocked. They knew that Tang Wulin could eat, but his sister's eating manners were really too indecent. It was a contrast to her beautiful appearance. So you guys are here too. A voice that Tang Wulin was very familiar with sounded. The 4 of them looked in that direction. Brother, big brother, boss, brotherling. The 4 different addresses all pointed to the same person. Tang Wulin shook his head with a smile and said, seeing as you're here, I'll join you as well. Senior, are you going to eat something? A white-haired little girl who appeared to be around 10 years old suddenly appeared behind him, and she wore a beast ear headband. If you're hungry, you have to eat. This is common sense. Don't you understand? Byakuya? Tang Wulin looked at the girl and said, Oh, I see. Write it down. She lowered her head and wrote in a notebook that she carried with her. She is... Tang Wulin and the others looked at the little girl with some confusion. She is Byakuya, a new disciple of Shrek's inner courtyard. Tang Wulin gave a simple introduction. Byakuya, this is my younger brother and sister, and this is my younger brother's friend, Sun and Yuan and Yehue. Senior, should I say now, hello everyone, nice to meet you? Byakuya asked Tang Wulin very sincerely. Yes. Tang Wulin said with a drop of sweat on his forehead. I see, I understand. Nice to meet you. I am Byakuya, your senior. Nice to meet you, she said with a smile. Hi. Nice to meet you. The 4 of them were a little speechless as they greeted her. Shouldn't this 10-year-old girl be their junior? They were actually very shocked. Tang Wulin just said that she was an inner courtyard disciple. A 10-year-old disciple of the inner courtyard? One had to know that even the weakest inner courtyard disciple had 4 soul rings. In other words, this little girl's strength was at least that of a soul ancestor. Come and eat too. Tang Wulin sat down and said to Byakuya, Me? Can I really do that? Sitting at the same table as senior and eating, she was a little nervous. Yes, you can, Tang Wulin said with a smile. Thank you, senior. Byakuya said with a bow. Why did you call me? Sun suddenly said. Scram, I'm not talking about you. Byakuya looked at Sun indifferently and said. She didn't have the same nervousness as before. Instead, she gave off a feeling of being thousands of miles away. Sun, shut up. You're really narcissistic, Yuan and Yehue said. Byakuya became very nervous again and sat next to Tang Wulin. What do you want to eat? Byakuya said shyly. Tang Wulin and the others were shocked. She couldn't be a glutton, right? Why did she say to? In the end, it turned out that she really was a glutton. Moreover, she was no less a glutton than Tang Wulin. 100 mutton skewers. In less than a minute, only the metal skewers were left. Excuse me, are you a hungry wolf? Sies Sun suddenly complained. Byakuya suddenly trembled. Oh my god, how'd he know? Tang Wulin was stunned and seemed to feel that there was something wrong with Byakuya. Ha 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 ha, it's probably because of my martial soul. My martial soul is a white wolf. So, Byakuya touched her head awkwardly. Those 3 girls are pretty good looking. Just when the 6 of them were eating happily, the sound of trouble finally came. The 6 of them looked at the source of the sound. A few young men in their 20s had just walked to the barbecue stall. The few people walking at the front were bare-chested, revealing the tattoos on their arms and chests. They looked fierce and evil. At first glance, they were not good people. When the diners in line saw them, they subconsciously moved to the sides. Even the barbecue stall owner's face changed slightly. He lowered his head and continued to barbecue as if he didn't see them. The one who spoke was the one on the left of the 3 people walking at the front. This person had a pointy mouth and monkey cheeks. He was skinny, revealing his bones. Little Lei, are you talking about the silver-haired girl and the 2 white-haired girls? Not Byakuya and... Okay, they're finished. The young man in the middle had a mohawk hairstyle. He was tall and strong, and the tattoos on his arms were ferocious, evil spirits, which added to his fierce aura. Yes, Brother Feng, it's those 3 girls. All of them are beautiful. In a few years, when they grow up, who knows how beautiful they'll be. Especially the most beautiful one with white hair. It feels like a goddess descending to the mortal world. Aren't they a little young? The sturdy young man frowned. Little Lei said with a dirty face, Young is good. Haven't you heard of the beautiful girl training program? The ones cultivated are the most considerate. Ha ha! The other delinquents burst into laughter. They all looked at Byakuya, and Tang Wulin with evil intentions. It seems that someone has sneaked in. They didn't deliberately suppress their voices, so the diners around them could hear them clearly. Many people were already casting sympathetic glances at Tang Wulin and the others. Hey, homeless students again, Tang Wulin said. Brother, what's a homeless student? Tang Wulin was a little puzzled. The others were also very puzzled. Homeless students, to put it simply, are the students who didn't enter the college or were expelled by the college. They don't want to leave, so they're here to be gangsters. I see. Write it down. Byakuya lowered her head and wrote in her notebook. Ignore them. We're all full. Let's go back. After Tang Wulin finished speaking, he got up and pulled Sies Sun, and Yuan and Yehue. Tang Wulin calmly wiped his mouth. Byakuya also finished writing and stood up to leave. But, children, are you full? I saw that you were just eating. Why don't you drink some wine? Life without wine is not a happy thing. Why don't we have a drink together? The skinny young man shook his head and said. As he spoke, he raised his hand and put on Tang Wulin's shoulder. Tang Wulin smiled slightly. No need. We're full. We're still underage. We can't drink. Tang Wulin said lightly. I won't go without vodka and la fight. The gangsters expressed that they had never heard of this kind of bright wine. The young man pointed at Tang Wulin, Sies Sun, and Yuan and Yehue, who was in men's clothing, and said, You guys go first. The remaining 3 girls look very familiar. I think I've seen them somewhere before. They seem to be my long-lost sisters. I want to have a good chat with them. In the next moment, Tang Wulin, Sies Sun, Yuan and Yehue, and Byakuya were all stunned. Because they said 3 girls. That meant, hee child, if you have the courage, do you dare to say what you just said again? Tang Wulin narrowed his eyes and said with a smile. However, everyone could feel that there was a sudden sense of oppression behind him. Big brother, this little girl has a temper. The young man who was courting death said, Seeing that you guys have been so calm, I think you should be students of Shrek Academy, right? Brother Feng, who is the leader, asked. Oh, you guessed right, child. We are all from Shrek Academy, Tang Wulin said with a smile. If that's the case, take one of my attacks and I can consider letting you guys go, Brother Feng said calmly. If you don't want to take it, that's fine too. to shout, Shrek is not as good as me, Feng Ling, and you guys can leave. These guys really hated Shrek to the core. Tang Wulin stopped smiling. Let me make it clear. If you guys are killed by me, you better not blame me. Ha 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 ha. What a joke. I, Feng Ling, will be killed by a weak girl like you? Don't joke. Cha. Before he could finish his sentence, he heard the sound of his throat being cut. At the same time, Tang Wuling had appeared behind him at an unknown time. At this time, he was wiping a small black knife with blood on the blade. The blade looked abnormally sharp, and there was a black skull at the bottom of the handle. No! Before Feng Ling could finish his sentence, his head fell to the ground and blood splattered everywhere. His body fell to the ground. Tang Wulin ignored the shocked expressions around him. Even Yuan and Yehue, Xie Sun, and Tang Wulin were shocked. They had never seen Tang Wulin fight before. This seemed to be the first time. However, he didn't have any soul power fluctuations at all. Byakuya, let me tell you one more thing. If people don't offend me, I won't offend them. If people offend me, I'll definitely retaliate. Tang Wulin said calmly. Oh, Senior is so powerful. Write it down, write it down. Byakuya started to record it down again. Next, Tang Wulin turned his head slowly and glanced at the group of hooligans who were stunned. His good mood today was completely affected by them. The group of hooligans finally reacted and looked at Tang Wulin in horror. In the next moment, their legs couldn't stop trembling. This was because in their eyes, Tang Wulin's eyes turned from blue to blood red. His blood-red eyes were flashing with a terrifying red light. It's your turn. Tang Wulin held the small knife in his hand. Tang Wulin walked towards them slowly. The strange thing was that everyone could see that Tang Wulin just walked past the group of hooligans calmly and didn't do anything. Everyone was confused. What's wrong? Byakuya was the only one in the crowd. She suddenly took a deep breath as if she was shocked by the scene in front of her. Wulin, you guys, hurry up and go back. Also, don't look back, Tang Wulin said calmly. Although Tang Wulin wanted to say something, he knew that now wasn't the time to ask questions. He pulled Naer, Xie Sun, and Yuan and Yehue away from the place. Byakuya's hands were trembling as she held the notebook. Even the hand that was holding the pen almost couldn't hold it properly. Byakuya, don't look back. Come with me. Tang Wulin finished speaking and walked away without looking back. Byakuya hurriedly chased after him. Only the hooligans who had been stunned were left behind. When Tang Wulin was about 100 meters away from them, Tang Wulin suddenly said calmly, Shrek City can't have trash. As soon as he finished speaking, the hooligans' heads neatly fell to the ground together. Blood sprayed out. Shrek City's police didn't care about this matter. They just cleaned up the corpses and checked the surveillance cameras. When they saw who killed the hooligans, they didn't look for Tang Wulin. Instead, they said that it was his own self-defense and that he wasn't at fault. Chapter 207. It was already late into the night, and Tang Wulin was walking lazily along the quiet streets. She was in an extremely bad mood today. His good mood was ruined by that group of hooligans. Although he killed all of them in the end to vent his anger, he had already gone easy on them. If he had used more force, he would have torn them into pieces and dragged them to the netherworld to feed the undead. Hey, I say, how long are you going to follow me? Tang Wulin said to the follower behind him. I've been discovered. A nervous voice sounded. Byakuya didn't hide and just walked out. Speak. It's already so late. Why are you still following me? Tang Wulin asked. Senior said that I can always follow you. Byakuya said. I didn't say that at all. Tang Wulin sweated. I asked Senior if I could follow you. Senior Ranhei said that I could do whatever I wanted. So, it's not wrong for me to follow Senior. But I'm going back to my room to rest. Don't follow me. Tang Wulin shook his head. That, Senior. Byakuya suddenly felt a little strange. Can I stay with you? Don't tell me you don't have a place to stay. Tang Wulin felt a little funny. How is that possible? There were many rooms in the academy. How about you not have one? I really don't have a room. The room I like is the one facing the Big Dipper. Among all the rooms, Only Senior's room is facing the Big Dipper. Byakuya said. Tang Wulin suddenly fell silent. He looked seriously at Byakuya again. Senior, don't look at me like that. Byakuya said shyly. Tang Wulin didn't say anything. My room only has one bed. Since that's the case, you can sleep on my bed. Tang Wulin said. How could this be? That was her Senior's room. That's Senior's bed. Byakuya immediately refused. Actually, I don't want to rest. I just want to meditate. My martial spirit must absorb the power of the stars to cultivate. Tang Wulin was taken aback. Absorbing the power of the stars. Yes, Byakuya replied. The power of the stars has the ability to predict fortune and calamity. The W star was also known as the Ravenous Wolf Star. Since ancient times, the Ravenous Wolf Star had the ability to control fortune and disaster. No one could control that kind of power, let alone use it to cultivate. Other than the only star beast recognized by the Greedy Wolf Star, the Greedy Wolf. And you're using this power to cultivate. This proves that you are the Greedy Wolf Star Beast Greedy Wolf. Due to the concealment of the Greedy Wolf's celestial body, no one is able to discover the Greedy Wolf's transformation, Tang Wulin said indifferently. Byakuya subconsciously took a step back and looked at Tang Wulin with a complicated expression. Why are you here? Didn't I tell you before? Moreover, you actually transformed and came to the human world. Do you know that this is very dangerous? Tang Wulin said. Byakuya didn't say anything. She just looked at Tang Wulin for a long time. Because I want to repay you. Then, she said a simple sentence. Tang Wulin was stunned for a moment. He looked at Byakuya, who had tears in the corner of her eyes. Please let me follow my benefactor. I want to repay my benefactor. I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to cook, sweep the floor, or warm the bed. Benefactor, please fulfill my wish. She made a standard 90-degree bow. Tang Wulin didn't say anything. He slowly turned around and left. Byakuya slowly straightened her body. She was a little depressed. As expected, it still didn't work. But then, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and follow me. Don't call me benefactor or anything. Just call me senior. From now on, you are a junior that I acknowledge, Tang Wulin said from afar. Byakuya finally smiled. Yes, senior. Tang Wulin wasn't thinking about how to arrange Greedy Wolf at this moment. Instead, he was thinking about Greedy Wolf, Army Destroyer, 7 Fiends, and Slaughter Destruction Wolf. Could it be that 13 Doluo was going to be in chaos? A few days later. What? The purpose of you coming to me is to ask me whether I want to buy a mecha or a battle armor first. Can't you think about this matter yourself? Tang Wulin patted Tang Wulin's head and said, But, brother, you know that I'm very poor. Before Tang Wulin could finish speaking, a black card was stuffed into his hand. Go ahead and use it. Tang Wulin left after speaking. Black card? What's that? All right, let's forgive the young and ignorant Xiao Wu. Then, under Wu Zhongkong's lead, he arrived at the mecha shop. But he really didn't know how to use the money in his hand. He just bought a yellow mecha and left. Damn it, you can even buy a black mecha now. Why did you buy a yellow one? The attendant's eyes are about to fall out of their sockets. Does this kid even know what he's holding? That's a black card issued by the Federation government. It's used by the highest echelons of the Federation or the most powerful aristocrats. It's hard for people at the bottom to even see one. This attendant only saw one of the aristocrats waving it around. But now, a young man with a black card in his hand had only bought a yellow mecha and left. Even if you have money, don't be so stingy. Little did he know that Wulin had no idea what the black card was for. All he knew was that it contained money. Chapter 208. With nothing else to do, Tang Wulin brought Guyu for a stroll through the streets of Heavendo City. Wulin, you really have to be careful. Evil Soul Masters almost killed you last time. Why don't we return to the academy? Guyu asked Tang Wulin after walking for a while. Tang Wulin smiled. It's fine. There are very few Evil Soul Masters. How could it be so coincidental that they would bump into us? Is that so? A cold voice suddenly sounded in their ears. Tang Wulin's heart clenched, and he subconsciously moved in front of Guyu to shield her. But at that moment, he suddenly realized that the scenery around him had changed. The old street had suddenly become a world of darkness, and the thick smell of blood assaulted his senses. In the next moment, he felt dizzy, and the world spun around him before he lost consciousness. The dark red light receded, and the old street returned to normal. Even the passers-by didn't notice that two people were suddenly missing. It was as if time had stopped. A bone-piercing chill. Tang Wulin trembled as he regained consciousness. He subconsciously opened his eyes and was shocked to find that there was a misty cloud beneath him. He was actually high up in the sky. Then he saw Guyu. Guyu was lying horizontally across from him. To be more precise, they were being held under the armpits of a person. Guyu's eyes were tightly shut, and her face was pale. The smell of blood came from that person, and the chill came from the sky. An evil soul master? Tang Wulin immediately came to this conclusion. At the same time, he felt a wave of helplessness in his heart. It seemed that he had been too careless. He hadn't expected the other party to target him. He had already guessed that the person carrying him and Guyu through the air was the same evil soul master who had tried to assassinate Jinhua. If it was him, it was unlikely that he and Guyu would survive. Super Doloa. You woke up pretty quickly. Tang Wulin could not tell the gender of the cold voice. It sounded in his ears. Just the voice alone made him feel as if he had gone insane. Did you kill Yugue? The cold voice questioned Tang Wulin. Yugue? Tang Wulin froze for a moment. I don't know him. Yugue had been missing ever since he went to the Soul Train. You're one of the lucky survivors, the evil soul master said coldly. Tang Wulin was suddenly enlightened. You're talking about that guy who's good at refining souls? Sorry, but that guy was killed by my brother. Your brother? Is that the boy who caught my attack? Then your brother is really amazing. His cultivation is even higher than mine. A 15-year-old limit Doloa at level 99. Your brother is really not simple. What a huge threat, the evil soul master said indifferently. After hearing the evil soul master's words, Tang Wulin was astonished. Brother is actually what? Didn't your brother tell you about his cultivation? My perception shouldn't be a problem. I've only ever felt that kind of feeling from our sect leader. Your brother is definitely a limit Dolua at level 99. If I hadn't escaped at full speed, I would have been caught by him. The evil soul master rejoiced. Senior, why did you capture us two children? Tang Wulin asked curiously. His eyes were clear and filled with confusion. Children? Tang Wulin, Shrek Academy's outer courtyard's first grade class president, Crimson Dragon Delois, Zhua Shi's direct disciple. He once led his companions to victory over the second grade. In the final exam, he even defeated the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy. Am I right? The cold voice asked calmly. Tang Wulin was shocked. He hadn't expected the evil soul master to investigate him so thoroughly. Senior, why are you investigating a nobody like me? Just because you're a nobody now doesn't mean you'll be a nobody in the future. Isn't Shrek an expert in nurturing talented people? I can't deal with your elder brother, but I can easily deal with the rest of you, the evil soul master said plainly. You're bullying the weak, aren't you? Tang Wulin asked. Call Jinhua and your brother. The evil soul master didn't answer. Tang Wulin's eyes grew cold. He pulled out his communicator and crushed it. Dream on. You're courting death. The evil soul master's fist landed on Tang Wulin's lower abdomen. Tang Wulin grunted, and a trickle of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. He fell heavily to the ground. The evil soul master extended a finger and touched a trickle of blood from the corner of Tang Wulin's mouth. She lifted the lower part of her mask, revealing her delicate chin. She stuck her finger in her mouth and sucked hard, sucking the blood into her mouth. In the next instant, her body abruptly shuddered, and her pupils abruptly contracted to the size of needles. She stood up and stumbled back a few steps, and the expression in her eyes had completely changed as she looked at Tang Wulin. How is this possible? How can a puny soul elder have such pure blood? How can his blood energy be so dense. That's great, that's great. And it's the blood of a pure man. Ha, ha, great. Jinhua is nothing. As long as I can suck your blood, I'll become normal again. I won't have to suffer the pain of the blood sea anymore. Ha ha, I've changed my mind. I want to suck your blood dry. Then I'll be an ordinary person. I won't be an evil soul master anymore. She laughed hysterically. Her voice was no longer as cold as before. It was actually a woman's voice. So what if you become an ordinary person? As an evil soul master, how many people have you killed? Tang Wulin asked coldly. Shut up. What does a brat like you know? Do you know what kind of people I've killed? They're all stinky men who treat love like child's play. The evil soul master suddenly raised her voice. Tang Wulin was stunned. You want my blood? Fine, but you have to promise me that you'll let Guyu go. The evil soul master was stunned. She hadn't expected Tang Wulin to say something like that. I didn't think you'd still be worried about your little girlfriend, even when you're about to die. Tang Wulin stubbornly said. Are you going to agree or not? All right, I'll let her go on account of your blood and your sincerity toward her. But I have no intention of letting you go. Right at this moment, a very calm voice rang out. Tang Wulin and the evil soul master suddenly felt as if their brains had been struck by something. Tang Wulin had already fainted from the impact. However, the evil soul master still had some ability, so she managed to hold on. At this moment, her eyes were filled with incredulity. Divine origin realm spiritual power? How is this possible? Could it be that Doluo had reached his limit? The evil soul master was extremely astonished. Her spiritual power was at the spirit domain realm, and she was also a rank 98 three-word battle armor master. So she was infinitely close to the limit of Doluo. However, she was only infinitely close to the limit of Doluo, so there was undoubtedly a world of difference between her and Doluo. A white-haired young man suddenly appeared beside Tang Wulin before slowly picking him up in his arms. The evil soul master stared at the figure that was right in front of her. You're his brother. She finally recognized this person. That's right. Wasn't he none other than Tang Wulin? Tang Wulin glanced at her in an indifferent manner, and his invisible aura immobilized her in her tracks. Terrifying. Extremely terrifying. There was only one word in the evil soul master's mind right now. He was definitely even more powerful than the sect leader. The Holy Ghost religion really is getting bolder and bolder, Tang Wulin said in an indifferent voice. Right when the evil soul master wasn't paying attention, a vast expanse of darkness suddenly appeared behind her. Immediately thereafter, an inky black chain abruptly shot out of the darkness and instantly bound her. I won't kill you right away. I still have a few questions to ask you later, so please stay in there for now, Tang Wulin said in an indifferent voice. She didn't even get a chance to struggle before she was dragged into the boundless darkness by the inky black chain. The darkness then gradually disappeared. Tang Wulin slowly put down Tang Wulin before turning to Guyu. Wake up. Stop pretending. I know you've been awake all this time, Tang Wulin said. Following this, Guyu really did sit up slowly. She looked at Tang Wulin with a complicated expression. I have to say that you've pretended very well. However, there's still a flaw. That flaw is something that even you don't know about, Tang Wulin said with a shrug. Guyu was stunned. What flaw? She asked. Are you sure you want to know? Tang Wulin asked. Guyu nodded. Actually, your Yuhao will be in different states when you're asleep and when you're awake. When you're asleep, your Yuhao will hang down, but when you're awake, your Yuhao will stand up, Tang Wulin said. Guyu's face suddenly turned red. You? How did you know? Tang Wulin was stunned. His expression was a little awkward. Hurry up and tell me. How did you know? Guyu was anxious. That was 5 million years ago when we first met. Do you still remember? At that time, after you were seriously injured and unconscious, you laid on my knee for 81 days. My legs were numb because of you, and I couldn't move at all. When you woke up, I noticed that small detail, Tang Wulin said with some hesitation. Guyu seemed to have really remembered. Bastard. Why did you have to remember that kind of thing? She shouted with a red face. Why did you have to scold me? I didn't look at it on purpose, Tang Wulin said awkwardly as he turned his head away. Guyu was silent. Her eyes seemed to be distracted. That's right. You really didn't do it on purpose. How good would it have been if I had known you earlier? Unfortunately, you already had a child back then. That's why I chose to give up. I say, you should come back to your senses. Tang Wulin clapped his hands in front of her face. He pulled her back to reality. How do you plan to deal with that evil soul master? Guyu said slowly. At least I won't kill her for now. I still have some things to ask her, Tang Wulin said. Oh, Jinhua is coming. I'll be leaving first. Take care of yourselves. Also, there's no point in having the Bear Lord follow you. What's the point of having him with me around? That's all for now. I'm leaving. Tang Wulin said. The darkness appeared again, and Tang Wulin merged into it. Ah, you. Take care too, Guyu muttered. A burly middle-aged man walked out. My lord, he said to Guyu. Haha, it's just as he said. With him around, you're useless. Guyu laughed. Aye. How can I compare to him? The middle-aged man complained. All right, you can return to the Great Stardow Forest, Guyu said. Yes, the middle-aged man said respectfully. Then he disappeared. Guyu took a deep breath. She looked at Tang Wulin again and slowly sat down beside him. She looked at him for a long time, then slowly laid down on the ground. She was very close to Tang Wulin. In a world of darkness, a beautiful woman was bound by pitch-black chains. She tried to struggle, but suddenly found that when she struggled, the chains emitted a strange power that weakened her soul power. It's best if you don't struggle. The more you struggle, the more your soul power will be drained away. A young man's voice sounded. A white-haired young man suddenly appeared in front of her. It was Tang Wulin. Ha 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 ha. This kind of power doesn't seem like a normal soul master's skill. Instead, it seems like an evil soul master's skill. The woman laughed bitterly. She looked at the young man strangely. I didn't expect you to be an evil soul master. And such a powerful one. Shouldn't you go to the Holy Ghost religion? If you go, Lord Sect Leader will definitely appoint you as the next sect leader. Think whatever you want. I just want to know where the Holy Ghost religion's Rue family's headquarters is. Also, how many strong people does the Holy Ghost religion have? Tang Wulin asked indifferently. Do you think I'll tell you, little friend? The woman said sarcastically. You better not force me to make a move, Tang Wulin said with a frown. So what if I force you? You're just trying to scare me with your death, the woman said. Tang Wulin smirked. Who said I would threaten you with my death? The woman was stunned. She looked at Tang Wulin, who was walking slowly towards her, and his smile. Her heart was instantly filled with fear and uneasiness. She seemed to have experienced such a scene before. In a small, pitch-black room, a cute and beautiful girl's hands were tied up. A man happened to be in front of her, his eyes full of lust. He slowly walked towards her. Don't come over. The woman suddenly trembled, as if she had remembered something that scared her. Don't. I beg you to let me go. Tears streamed down her face. Her body trembled even faster. Tang Wulin was stunned. Didn't I just want to forcibly read her memories? Is there a need for such a big reaction? Tang Wulin ignored her. He was already very close to her, only half a step away. Don't. I beg you. Don't blaspheme me. Don't. Her delicate body trembled nonstop, and she was already sobbing. Tang Wulin looked at her with a puzzled expression. Forget it. I'll check her memories first. Tang Wulin pressed his hand on her forehead. The strange thing was, when Tang Wulin's hand touched her forehead, she suddenly stopped trembling and became very quiet. A kiss entered her forehead. In the next moment, Tang Wulin's body trembled, and he looked at the woman in shock. He had already seen what he wanted to know, but he also saw her past, pitiful person. Tang Wulin said. He withdrew his hand. The woman slowly recovered. What did you do to me? She asked with a little fear. Nothing much. I just forcibly read your memories. I already know where the Holy Ghost religion's headquarters is and how many experts you have. Tang Wulin said. Read her memories? What kind of strength is this? Wait, Since you've read my memories, do you already know my past? She said in disbelief. Yes. Tang Wulin nodded. You're really pitiful. If that man didn't treat you like that, you wouldn't have become an evil soul master. Tang Wulin said, That's why. I want to become a normal person. I really want to become a normal person. The woman said with tears flowing down her face. Tang Wulin shrugged. In the next moment, the pitch-black chains disappeared from the woman's body. She weakly fell to the ground and looked at Tang Wulin strangely. You can go now. Tang Wulin said. The woman was stunned. You plan to let me go? She couldn't recover. Tang Wulin didn't say anything. He took out a jade bottle and cut a wound on his hand. His strange, rainbow-colored blood began to flow into the jade bottle. The woman was startled. His blood wasn't red? The woman didn't know why, but when she saw his blood, she suddenly had an instinctive impulse to take it for herself. It seemed that this blood was 100 times better than Tang Wulin's. Here, drink a little every day. After a month, you won't be an evil soul master anymore. Tang Wulin's face was a little pale at this moment. He closed the jade bottle and threw it to the woman. The woman caught it very carefully. Really? She didn't believe it. If you don't believe it, you can return it to me. I can't bear to part with my blood. It can allow you to be reborn and even change your body. If you don't want such a good thing, quickly return it to me. Tang Wulin said carefully. Then I'll take it. Thank you, benefactor. In the future, I'll do anything you ask of me. The woman hurriedly put away the jade bottle and said gratefully, Can I do anything? Tang Wulin asked. The woman nodded very seriously. If benefactor doesn't dislike me, my body is also yours. Although it's very dirty now, Tang Wulin shrugged and said, After you've been reborn, your body will be a new one. It won't be the dirty body that you once had. Thank you. The woman directly knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times. From now on, I'm willing to be your spy. Tang Wulin was stunned and smiled. You can say this. Aren't you afraid that your sect leader will punish you? Although you're a vice sect leader, your sect leader should be able to kill you directly, right? I'm not afraid. You've given me a new life. I'm willing to be your spy. Her words were very sincere. It's rare to see an evil soul master like you. Tang Wulin smiled. He waved his hand, and an open door appeared behind her. Go. Start anew, Tang Wulin said. The woman kowtowed again. She walked out of the door. Seeing that she had left, Tang Wulin slowly knelt on the ground and panted weakly. It seems I gave her too much blood. Tang Wulin sat cross-legged and began to slowly recover the blood essence he had consumed. Ordinary people who consumed the divine blood essence could extend their lives and become soul masters. If they were soul masters, they could be reborn and their cultivation speed would increase by several times. They could even have the potential to become gods. But if they consumed too much, they could say goodbye to the world. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.